reminiscing on a flashback. Hall of Fame name with a legacy that's long. That's the legend of the Armstrongs. Questions get answered, oh, you didn't know? Let's start the show.
Welcome back to the show. It's Road Dogg and Casio, and you're listening to...
Oh, you didn't know? That's right. I wish that was my only line. Like I was your side. I was your
We
sidekick.
shut it down?
Yeah, and I would go like, "Oh, you didn't know," and then you took over, and I could leave.
You just tell me to call somebody, and we roll credits. I just read the Observer for 2 hours, and then you go home.
You just bury me for 2 hours, and then you go like, "Look, people would probably be happier with that." I read one thing on social media that said either this podcast starts at 4:20 or is a 3-drink minimum.
Beer 30. Yeah, 3-drink minimum, yeah.
He said, but this is not your normal Conrad podcast. And I thought, you know what? That is high praises coming off the tongue of an angel to me, because I don't want it to be another one of Conrad's podcasts. I want it to be a destination where you might hear some good stuff about wrestling, but chances are you're going to pop a time or two. And look, if we do both in 2 hours, then God bless us.
Well, we're definitely going to get a pop. I don't know about wrestling content, but
well, yeah, I'll pop you and you'll pop me a time.
That's it, and I will go home happy. And
me too.
We'll do it again next week. And my favorite is, I don't know if you saw the follow up with that guy on Twitter, but I tweeted him. I've said something polite to him, and he said, "Oh gosh, I didn't watch it. I just listened, and I thought it was Drunk Conrad. I didn't know it was a different person." So when he said 3-drink minimum, he thought that Conrad was blasted with you every week.
Well, look, I mean, technically he is, but we don't talk about that.
It's his AI. It's his voice, and I'm just...
he is drinking Diet Dr. Pepper now. I cannot vouch for him as far as whether he smoked or not before we came on the air.
I did not. I'd be like that.
With Cheetos in your mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
be
not
Cool
the same.
Ranch City over here going, "Talk to me, dog."
It's not the same anymore, right? You used to get high to have fun. Now you just pass out on the couch and wake up with a horrible neck crick. But yeah, Drunk Conrad, that's got to be your new handle, right?
Drunk Conrad. It is Conrad, yeah. I should just change it to 3-drink minimum. That should be my new handle.
I took that as high praise. I thought at least the guy thought we were funny, or thought we were weird, or thought we were something, but he didn't think we were normal. And that's kind of what I'm shooting for.
Buddy, we will work. That's what it's
work
working
overtime.
Yeah, we're working on that, son. Let's go back. We'll see who you are. There's a lot of people involved in this. You're probably better sports entertainer than most of them. So we'll get to that. We'll get you some more heat going on there.
Thank you for saying that too, because whether you know it or not, that's a true statement. Like, think about it. There's a lot of people on here that we're going to talk about, and I'm a better sports entertainer than them. And probably I should take out the word sports. If language matters,
just entertainer.
I will say that, and maybe that's an edit to a lot of people that are like, yeah, no, you crap, buttle. There was a lot of people upset about my comments about Bret Hart, and look, I actually did an interview with a gentleman Bill Apter.
Yes.
Who called me last week. I was actually in the office in Stamford, and he called me, and so we spoke a little bit. And he said, I just want to do a piece about what you said, and do you think you misspoke? And I said, yeah, look, maybe in retrospect I could have changed some of the language, but the message would still stay the same. You know what I mean? And so that's what I was talking about when I removed the word sports. And this is how I framed the argument. If me and Bret had to go out and tomorrow night in whatever building we were in, and we had 10 minutes to do something to entertain them, Bret would have to wrestle for those. You know what I mean? Like if I had it, I could do a couple more things. Is all I'm saying.
To wrestle.
Actually, I'm still taking the piss a little bit and just having fun with this. And can I be honest with you about something, Conrad? Before we
Yeah. This is number one. I like how you're getting this out before we even start.
Before we even get started. And this is from the bottom of my heart, by the way. And I was going to say something different, and now I changed my mind. I'm going to deliver the message. No, this is what I really wanted to say today. I really did, too. I've been thinking about this a lot. I wanted to say it for 2 weeks, actually, but we haven't recorded. So I leaned into the Bret thing. You know what I mean? I leaned into it a little more than normal to get a bite, to get a nibble. Holy crap, I got my boat so full of fish, I had to go to shore. So I was just looking for, you know what I mean, some steam. Just looking for a little gravel, a little something to sink my teeth into. And man, did that happen. But then I got to a point where I felt really bad inside my own head and heart, and I had to do this conversation in my head. Was like, okay, you did that, but you did it for ratings, and is it really how you feel? How far did you go? Where was your real line at? You know what I mean? And I kind of still feel the same way, but I leaned into it stronger than I should have by design, and it made me uncomfortable, to be quite honest with you. It made me uncomfortable for 2 or 3 weeks now. I don't like the heat. I'll say that. And it's not that it's not, I got it. Believe you me, I got it. And I felt it. And when I felt it, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? So that's, it was an experiment to see, like, okay, what, you know, and so it was an exaggeration of my true feelings, but not too much. You know what I mean? Like I may have leaned on the fact, and I know, you know, when I said, like, oh, well, he's a good wrestler or whatever, you know what I mean? Like I was doing things. Yeah. So I was doing things that were, I feel like they were disingenuous, and that's why I feel like I'm guilty now. I just went a little over the top with it by design, and I didn't like the repercussions that I felt, but I deserved them. So you're welcome if you needed that. But also, on the other hand, and I don't want to take up too much time, but on the other hand, how strongly opinionated people get about somebody else's opinion. You know what I mean? And
right. So they got opinionated about your opinion, which is funny.
And it is funny, but that's Twitter, right? That's social media in a nutshell. This is me in a nutshell. Help, I'm in this great big nutshell. I can't get out. Sorry. So I forgot what I was going to say, but they're very opinionated about the opinions. And it's like, if you don't like me anyway, and you think I'm a loser, my opinion should not matter to you that much. You know what I mean? And on Twitter, I got some people that dig me, but there's a lot of people that do not like me on Twitter for a plethora of reasons. But it's Twitter, so I got to consider the source and not get my fifi hurt, you know?
Well, look, I mean, first of all, most of the people that hated didn't even hear what you said. They were popping off before you even heard it. Yeah. We even did the next... the bonus clip on our YouTube exclusively where you addressed it as well. Yeah. They didn't listen to that. They don't want to listen to that. They want, like you said, if they hate you, they want to hate you.
Did nobody listen to it?
I don't think so.
So we shouldn't do those anymore.
We'll have to check that.
Those are a complete waste of time.
But I hope you don't feel too bad.
Yeah.
Because we've already slung up the brand new shirt. I'm the greatest sports entertainer there was, is, and ever will be. Available now at boxofgimmicks.com.
Why do you have Joey Janela on there?
That's not, baby. You started that look.
Me? That's me?
You started that look, man.
Yeah, Joey, take that.
You had the big sunglasses before big sunglasses were cool, my friend. You made them cool.
To be quite honest, I think they either gave us those or put them on me post photo shoot. You know what I mean? Like they were not even.
Hey, somebody went, ooh, throw some shades on him, brother.
Chances are I was hammered. That's all there is to it. You were drunk, Conrad, and I was hammered. Road
3 drink minimum, and that photo shoot was at 4:20 in the afternoon.
Amen. It was back then. I can tell you that much for sure.
What about 1999?
Well, I partied like it was that year, and let's talk about the heel turn of D-Generation X in 1999.
We're going right back to 99, still in the Attitude Era. We're coming off the
couple of years, right?
Coming off Rock and Sock. How about that?
Rock and Sock connection.
The Raw is from Providence in late October 1999, and the main event of Raw is War. The New Age Outlaws, the WWF World Tag Team Champions of the World.
Oh, you didn't know?
Taking on, maybe you've heard of these guys,
No.
Rock and Steve Austin. They had pretty good.
No,
No, you don't remember that?
Were they WCCW? Did they come from Portland?
They came.
What territory did they work in?
Fergal's territory over there. Midwest.
GCCC.
Midwest Championship.
Midwest Championship
Extreme.
Middleweight Wrestling Championship.
Yeah. Yep. They're over there.
Remember that.
The Mongolian territory.
Yes. The Mongolian Stomper worked in a. Dude, I got a story to tell you in a minute, and it's a. Look. Now? Okay. Yeah. Listen, I watch a show called Mysteries of the Abandoned. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's on Science.
I thought it was going to be about Stone Cold Rock. I did not see this
No. So now is not the time. I'm going to come back to I'm going to come back to that.
The Abandoned.
Stone Cold. Okay, where are we going? Mysteries
going
of the
to
Abandoned? Okay, yes. Mysteries of the Abandoned is on Science Channel, and it's also on Discovery Channel. It's about things that are built like throughout history that or have been abandoned now, but there's some things in the middle of cities, some things out in the middle of nowhere, German fortifications that they built during World War II that are now, but they tour these things and tell you about the history of them and what they're doing now besides dilapidating into the earth. But so I sit down to eat. I'm in a hotel room. I'm by myself, and the thing starts off, and it starts talking about Oral Roberts. And so Oral Roberts was was probably the first televangelist. He has a huge college in is it Texas or Oklahoma? I'm not sure. But the building, Oral Roberts University, the building he was building when he first started getting really hot, still stands in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so it's a huge building with no windows. And what it was a huge headquarters where they could shoot everything in there, all things televangelist. But he was like a charlatan. He was looked on like a charlatan because he was healing people. And he went on to and stopped doing the healings and all that and kind of got a little more midstream, mainstream, excuse me. And so, but it made me think of my mom. The whole reason for the Oral Roberts thing was my mom. My mom sent money every week. She was in a book club. She sent Oral, and my grandmother the same way, her mom. And so I'm thinking about my mom watching this thing, and I'm like, God, man, my mom passed away not too long ago. I'm crying and I'm thinking about, but I'm in a good place, right? I'm in a really good place. The next segment to what they're watching, to what they're going to discover, is the Mid-South Coliseum in Memphis, Tennessee. And it tells the history of it. And I got goosebumps telling you because it talks about Sputnik Monroe. It talks about him challenging racial divides and stepping across those lines and being arrested for going to African-American bars and cafes. It was segregated. It was white and black. This building was the first segregated entertainment venue in the South. Like it was the first one ever built in the South. And so there's a lot of cool, story behind that. But in this package or in this segment of the show, it shows my dad 10 times with Mongolian Stomper.
Really?
And I mean, sold out auditorium. But Dad worked with Mongolian Stomper in West Tennessee territory, East Tennessee territory, Alabama territory, Georgia territory, Florida territory. They were great friends and they worked great together. And so it was, man, it showed probably 6 or 7 minutes total of all this great wrestling from Mid-South Coliseum. And my dad was in about half of it. And he was in this white singlet. He was a big baby face.
But you didn't even know.
I had no idea about any of that. You know what I mean? Because I was probably in elementary school when he was doing that or whatever. But it was such a great hour of my life. And it took me back down memory lane with my mom and dad and strong memories of both in the same crappy TV show in a crappy hotel. It was actually a 5-star hotel, but but still, I was alone. I was lonely. Look, I'm sorry, that was not about Rock and Austin.
It's better.
It was about my Rock and Austin. It was about the Bullet and Mimi. So Miss Gale. So yeah, I'm sorry I interrupted the Rock and wrestling connection.
By the way,
with a great story.
Bruce Prichard has said that Oral Roberts was his big inspiration for Brother Love.
Is that, yeah, I didn't know that, but I don't doubt that a bit, because look, that's what we found out. Like, he was literally black and white television. He was healing people, and it shows it on this show. It was, my daughter and I talked about it at length until we tried to find the show, to watch the show again, just because, and we had to go on Paramount Plus or whatever. It's not on Peacock, so I'm not interested. I'm sorry. That was a serious exit off of the main thoroughfare, but it meant a lot to me, so you had to listen to it. I apologize.
I'm going to find it. We're all going to find it. Mysteries of the Abyss, of the Abandoned.
Of the Abandoned. This particular one was, I think it was specified as Mystery of the Abandoned Inside America.
Okay.
I think, or America, something America. It was specific to America.
Well, mark it down.
I'm sorry. Rock and Austin were great.
By the way, you accidentally said he was midstream. You were thinking about our show. He was mainstream. Yeah. We're midstream.
That's about when mine stops, and I have to wait there and wiggle it. Just a
Stopping
little bit.
midstream.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to our full stream here. Dog, you and Billy taking on two of the biggest stars in the history of professional wrestling on the most watched show in professional wrestling history. This is, you mentioned it. It seems like one of those pinch me moments. Were you aware of that at the time, or were you just cruising?
Not. Of course not. I'm cruising. And truth be told, I wrongly considered myself belonging in that match. I mean, looking back now, and you see, like, okay, dog, you were no Rock or Austin. But at the time, I was in the match with them, and I was high, so I thought I was equal to them.
But you also had the strap.
Yeah, I mean, we a lot of times, even on live events, we would go and we would main event the show in our tag title defense or whatever. And Taker or Rock or Austin or whoever the real attraction was would go on like before intermission. And then they could shower and get dressed and leave or whatever. Yeah. And we would close the show. And it just went that way. And so this was one of those times where I appreciated them thinking highly enough of us to put us on TV in that spot. You know what I mean? That says a lot. Especially now, knowing the importance of that spot and the importance of a landscape on television, period. And so having a somewhat of a grasp of that now, it's really impressive to me that we were the main event of the show in a tag title defense. You know what I mean? That's cool to think about now. At the time, I just thought, I'm doing my job, and how quick can we get out of here and get to the next town?
As far as that time, no issues backstage, easy to work with, those two guys?
Yes. I'll tell you this. So they had risen above the norm. They had risen, but what was important to me was I was friends with Steve for a long time, from WCW days. I knew Steve, and we spent some time together, like drinking and fishing, and you know what I mean. So I knew Steve, and I'm not going to treat Steve any differently. He may be less accessible to me. He may have a private dressing room, and you don't just go in there. You don't know what if he may be in there talking to Vince. You don't know. So Rock was the one that, to me. And it felt very important to me to keep his feet on the ground. And I did so because I was jealous of him and I didn't like him, and boo on you. But look, he could cut a promo. He could wrestle. He looked great. He was, you know what I mean? He's the total package on the reel. And I wasn't that. And so I was very jealous of him. And I've told him that and apologized since, but it still doesn't take away the fact that I took it upon myself to keep his feet on the ground. And I did that with verbal abuse and pot shots in the ring too. You know what I mean? Like he knew that when they were there, and he would bring it back, and we would, you kind of left it all out in the ring for sure. But I took it upon myself to keep his feet on the ground, and that was not my place. And I'll forever apologize for that to him. But it was just, we were just in the ring wrestling, and I'm in the ring with you, dude. So you're equal to me. You know what I mean? And look, and like I said, in retrospect, I see we're not equal. We're not equal as far as intellectual properties are concerned. You know what I mean? In the eyes of God, you and I are the same. But in the eyes of the consumer, or the almighty consumer, we are not. And I understand that.
Better sports entertainer than Bret Hart?
Who, me or The Rock?
The Rock.
100% better. 100% better. And
you just say he's better than you, and you are better than Bret Hart. So I knew the answer to that.
Okay. You just wanted me to say it again?
Yeah. Let's start a list of how many sports entertainers are better than Bret Hart.
Well, I actually think Bret would be okay with that, because I think he would be ashamed of being called a sports entertainer. I think he would want to be called a wrestler, and I'm not a wrestler. I know that from the get-go. If a wrestler took me down and started having their way with me, and I don't mean weirdly, I just mean wrestling-wise, there's nothing I could do. I'm not a trained combatant, except for I can shoot you from 500 yards, and nobody will never know I was there. But that's just
putting that out there.
That's a different conversation. When I said I wasn't a trained combatant, I had to preface it with, well, to an extent. But like I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's a great wrestler. And I said the word great. Remember that.
There you go. They'll never hear that one.
No. That's on page 6, dog.
Could you make Steven Seagal poop his pants? Could you?
Hey, I watched the thing the other day.
I think you could.
Bless his heart. He's fat as mud. Hair like he put asphalt on it, and just with a kimono on, and some dude, he's like, come on, bro. And the guy steps in and he goes, beep, 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 beep. And the guy's like, oh, okay. And he goes, no, come on, hit me in the face, bro. The guy trusts him. He goes, beep, 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 beep. And he ain't doing nothing. You know what I mean? Like, sure, the guy could kick my butt. That's not what we're talking about here.
Right.
What we're talking about is this fat old man pushing it too far. He jumped the shark after that daggum Battleship movie with...
Oh, that was good. What was that one?
That girl
Under Siege?
Under Siege. Gary Busey. Yeah,
the girl popped out of the cake.
Yeah, that girl popped out of the cake. That was my favorite.
That's what made me remember it.
Yeah, me too. But Tommy Lee Jones was in it as well.
Come on now.
Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey were the two heels.
I think you could. I'm not exaggerating. I think you could legit beat Steven Seagal in a shoot fight right now. There's no way he could beat you.
I don't want to fight nobody. I know, but if he might go like that,
he might do this.
And look, you don't know what happens then. John Cena goes like this, you can't see him. Steven Seagal goes like that, poops his pants. Bam.
Nothing gets by this.
Nothing gets by that, and you walk away with your britches full of turds. So it is not good for the product.
Let's see, all our crew that's watching, they're taking money on you. See, I knew this was happening. You could beat Steven Seagal in a fight.
Okay, well, look, if we can make that happen.
By the way, when you tweet this clip out, crew, make sure you tag Steven Seagal in it so he can see Road Dogg can beat his ass. He can vogue on you and beat you.
Hey, just kidding. Whoa, Steven, watch out.
That's how Steven Seagal beats you right there. All right. Oh, yeah, we're talking about wrestling. I forgot.
Boo.
Happy holidays, everybody. This is Jason Sensation, and I had the utmost pleasure of sitting down with top guy members to tell my story of being the greatest wrestling impersonator of all time. The best there is, the best there was, and the best ever will be. Check it out on ad-free shows right now.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. Andre the Giant, you think you're gonna end Hulkamania, man? Well, Hulkamania's gonna run wild on you, man. And what you gonna do, brother, when Hulkamania and all the powers of Hulkamania run wild on you, brother? You, Elizabeth,
you, and I started to do his impression to him, and he flipped out on me. He lost it.
Man, hey, man, come here. Let me hear a couple of those voices. Damn, like he's Stone Cold. Oh, man, that's damn good.
I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much. Yes, Triple H, yes, I love it. SmackDown, yes.
You get out of the washroom now. You combing your hair like you're Lex Luger? Look at you, pretty boy. You think you're Luger? Come on.
That was so much fun. I had a blast. I love ad-free shows. And if you want to watch the entire episode on demand, you can check it out on adfreeshows.com, along with so many of my favorites.
Go ahead.
Let's get into it. Xbox interferes, hits a spinning heel kick on Rock to lead to the pin, and the WWF champion Triple H comes out, and it's a DX heel beatdown on Rocky and Austin. DX is reformed. Dog, what'd you think of the idea of putting DX back together as heels this time?
As heels this time. Well, I didn't care. No, I'm just kidding. I did care a lot because I felt, look, at this time, and I've said this before, but I will repeat it. I was on drugs and I was in my heyday, and so I was scared to perform by myself because and I've said this before too, I am an egomaniac with an inferiority complex. So I want to be the center of attention, yet that thought terrifies me. And so it's a dichotomy that happens between my ears on a daily basis that it's a serious battle in there. So I got to keep that going. What were we talking about? I apologize.
You were excited about coming back as heels.
Yes. So what I want to talk about was, holy mackerel, we were in the main event of Monday Night Raw, the flagship show against those two guys. Like, I guess that's what we were talking about a second ago, but it just hit me again. Like, that's a big deal, especially at this time. You read something earlier. Was this the most watched wrestling show in the history of the world?
Well, Raw is. I mean, it's at that time. Of course,
that was just a good. Because
Yeah.
I thought for a second that you're saying this main event match was the most watched television show, and I thought that feels really good.
We
It
can get
feels
our crack
wrong.
research team
It
on
feels
it.
wrong, but it feels
Feels
really good.
wrong.
I just spit all over my computer.
Well, how about this? We don't know which one is, so how about that?
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
Yeah. Let's
Don't
just let
do
that
any
simmer.
research.
You
Do
were on
not
the most
research
watched wrestling show ever
in the history of the world.
with the biggest characters at the time ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So look, I was extremely happy to be in this main event. I was extremely happy to be back with the gang because that's where I started talking about. I remember now. That's where I started talking about the inferiority complex. To have the gang around you again is very safe and secure, and you can step out front or you can hide in the back, however you're feeling at the time. But when it's just you, ain't nowhere to hide. You know what I mean? So that was scary to me.
By the way, May 10th, 1999, we're in October. May 10th, 1999, 8.1, highest rated episode of Raw in any WWE
That's what
TV
I thought.
episode ever.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was.
We'll have to find out if you were on that show and how you did.
I was on the show, I'm sure, but I think it was the week after we did the invasion.
Oh, okay.
Maybe.
WCW Nitro was not on the air that night.
Oh, well, I'm not sure. Like, you can't take away the 8-1 no matter what WCW was doing.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a fact, Jack.
Here we go. Let's talk about 99. It's noticeable that China is not part of this, even though she's managing Hunter at the time. Do you remember anything about that?
Yeah, I read that in the notes, and it surprised me because I thought, like, well, what was she doing when she wasn't there? And then the next line said she was managing Hunter. So I'm just kind of dumbfounded to hear that. There had to have been a reason. I just don't know what that reason is. You know what I mean?
No drama between you guys, though.
No. Well, not between any of us, and I don't know about relationship status. I don't know if there was drama there.
But you and Billy and all that, no beef with China, of course.
None. We were happy to get back together.
What were the changes without Russo and Ferrara being in charge at this time? Did you see a lot of changes in the product?
Look, no, and I'll tell you why. Like, I mean, the creative, the temperature of the creative. I don't know. I'm looking for a word. Like the style of creative changed a little bit, but it wasn't really like the characters were already established. So we were gonna still be DX. You know what I mean? And yeah, they left, but if anything, I felt like it got a little more conservative in the long run. But early, as you can see and what we're about to talk about, it was still a little crazy even after they left.
The Meltzer would report the whole idea behind the DX getting back together was because WWF was so thin on the heel side. They were going with Venus and Bulldog as top heels because they had nothing but Triple H. So this was their answer to give them some depth. Do you remember that being the case?
Yeah, no, I'm sure it was the case. And I don't remember it being the case, but to be quite honest with you, Casio, I wasn't smart enough about the business and how it worked. And I'm dead serious about this. To know, like, to even know, oh, they need people on the heel side of the roster.
Right.
I mean, I came out of the Marine Corps and started wrestling, and 2 years, 3 years later, here I am doing this. And you know what I mean? 6 years. I got out of the Marine Corps in 93, end of the year in 93. And this is, 99. And so I don't know what I'm doing. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on. But in looking back, in retrospect, I see, like, holy mackerel. Bulldog was your biggest heel.
Yeah.
And Bulldog was always a babyface. You know what I mean? And Venus was not that caliber of star. He's a great character and great worker. And I'm not taking anything away from him or his character as a human. But
your top heel.
Yeah, he wasn't the top heel, that's for sure. And Davey Boy, as over as he was and as big as a star as he wasn't either. So when I read that, I was like, holy mackerel, that had to be the reason. Having said that, I have now done the same exact maneuver several times in being a lead writer of a television show. Is we're short of babyface. We're short. We don't have enough heels. We don't have enough women baby faces, whatever. And then you got to turn somebody and you got to look, and it takes a long time because, okay, now they turned 4 people. You know what I mean? They added 4 heels to that roster right away, and heels that were established and that you could put in a match with me and Billy and maybe beat me, and you would have beat somebody. You know what I mean? At the time. And so, like, again, I was so young and green and new in the business, I wouldn't have really known that. Like, oh, they're putting us over there because they need more depth to their heel roster. I wouldn't have thought of that in a million years.
You said it would take a while for somebody to, you got to figure out how to turn somebody heel, and now creatively we got to get the storyline there and make it make sense. Do you remember back then? Do you remember a long lead up to this, or do you remember it being pretty quick thing?
I remember it being pretty quick, and I maybe could be wrong about that because I don't have a great memory of any of it. But I remember all of a sudden we were put back together in heels, but for me, not being in on those conversations, it all happened very quickly. You know what I mean? Like, they could have, Hunter and Shawn and leadership and creative could have been talking for a month about it. You know what I mean? And I just wasn't in on that. And rightfully so. Well, you're not going to bring the village idiot in to hear the secret plans. You know what I mean? And that's basically what I was at the time. And now, fast forward so many years later, I got the same job. Village idiot.
But you're in the room this time.
I love it. I'm in the room.
On the next SmackDown, this is a fun one right here. You're in Springfield, Mass. SmackDown opened with DX telling Vince that they run the company now and they don't take orders from anyone. DX beat up Rock, put him in the trunk of his car, and drove off.
Yeah.
Dudley's beat X-Pac and Kane when X-Pac turned on Kane, giving him a low blow, and he was pinned. DX beat up Kane after the match and said he wasn't DX material. The live crowd was even dead for this segment. Throughout the show, Austin was setting traps and injured both Road Dogg and Billy Gunn. Show ended with a confrontation with DX against Austin. Austin came out even though he was outnumbered when a net fell from the ceiling, trapping everyone, and DX and Austin beat them all up. Dog, you got caught in a bear trap.
In a bear trap.
Gunn got caught in a snare trap. And the ceiling fell in on X-Pac.
Yeah.
What's happening here?
Austin, he's clever. You can't. I tell you what, he's just smart, and he outsmarted us that night.
Best Scooby-Doo episode ever.
The only thing we didn't have was the running in between a bunch of hotel room doors, and so we shot that, but they cut it for time.
Exactly.
But look, I always remember that because I had those mustard yellow Adidas sweatsuit on, and I got phony baloney blood on them and ruined it and couldn't wear it anymore. And I don't know if you were a fan of me back in the day, but I used to have some sweet Adidas sweatsuits.
Yes.
Like a brown and black striped and like just super cool different colors. And this one was
ruined
all,
one.
like mustard and navy blue. Like Notre Dame or Purdue, you know what I mean? It was, yeah, there they are.
Look
and
at
so
that.
I had a jacket that matched, and I got fox blood on it.
I'm gonna need to know more about the bear trap.
It hurt like hell, even putting it on there for two seconds. Like
so it was
like,
a real bear trap.
Yeah.
Real bear trap, and y'all just lowered it on your leg for the segment?
Yeah. And it didn't have, like it wasn't pulling together on my leg, but the teeth are sharp as crap. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Still a metal bear trap.
Yes. And you can imagine if that thing hooked you, you'd have to rip your leg off, or bear would rip their leg off to get out of there. You know what I mean? That's horrible, Pete. I apologize.
And you're complaining about your pants.
I know.
You got out of there easy.
I did get out of there easy, but I still would like to.
You could be Lieutenant Dan right now.
I wonder if I could like turn that in. You know what I mean?
You need workers' comp for a bear trap. Yeah.
Ride it off and maybe get like a new sweatsuit.
See if you can slip it in now.
Hey,
20
Adidas,
years later.
Yeah, Adidas. What do y'all think about maybe just sending me a new one?
Promo code DOG to get your mustard yellow snap pants.
Oh, dog. All right, where are we at? Xbox. I love the fact too that you could just the crowd was dead for this. Nobody cared what the crowd did for this. It was a necessity that you have to turn the guys that they all liked heels. And so that's what we're doing. We do it all in the night. They crap on some of it because they don't like to see the good guys they like coming out and beating up other good guys they like X-Pac kicking him in the niz. And so it's just a negative comment to go, the crowd was dead for this. Well, because they love Kane and they love X-Pac, and X-Pac just kicked Kane in the groin. Like, that's why they were dead. They were like, oh, no, what do you do that for? Like, but don't worry, we got you.
But let me ask you this, and maybe it's overthinking it in hindsight. They bring you back to be the big bad heels, and this next week, now it's kind of silly. You've got traps and set up around the deal.
Yeah.
Is that overthinking it, or is that, hey, maybe
I think it is overthinking it, but look, and this goes back to my Bret Hart conversation that we'll have forever now, is two totally different philosophies on the way this works. And it's nobody, there ain't no right and wrong, and we just disagree, and it's just you and me, you know, whatever that song is, like, it's just a different philosophy. So I think they turned us heel so that Austin and Rock or whoever would have some people to run through. And he would have me, Billy, X-Pac, and then he would have a match with Hunter or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that was kind of the way it would go. And so, right, wrong, or indifferent, I accept the role. I thank you for the role because now I'm on top again as a heel. And the only reason we were heels is we were doing heel things to real people that they really loved, like Austin and Rock. And so who could you turn DX heel on? Probably only those two. You know what I mean? Of course, then you got to separate Kid from Kane. So you do that kick in the niz. And I don't know if we ever went back to those two going at it again, but I could see that. Look, you had to make some heels so you could make some baby faces. And if you crack a heel egg making a baby face, you're doing the right thing. Because that's where your money is. With Rock coming in and saying, if you smell, or Austin driving a daggum car, a motor four-wheeler in the building. Like, that's where the money's at. Not with the bad guys. And you go, oh, bad guys, did you feel bad because they just beat you up? No. Did the three bad guys from the original Superman movie feel bad when Brokeneck McGee sent them all to the circle in the sky? You know what I mean? Like, what? No, I'm the heel bad guy. I'm supposed to get caught in a bear trap. I'm supposed to get the ceiling fall on my head. I'm just trying to talk and pass by it because I immediately regretted saying it. So you leaning back and laughing at it is not helping. But it's exactly what it's supposed to. yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that. That was too. I couldn't think of his name, and that came out. But look, that's the heel's job, right? The heel is the bumbling idiot. Now look. At times,
Apparently, I'm a heel.
Yeah, and yeah, me too. But my point is, the good guy always gets the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the way this works. And
Eventually.
it's not wrestling, eventually. There are times where the bad guy looks, holy crap, you kidnapped my daughter. You said you're going to kill her if I don't come and do that. You know what I mean? Like now we're in the heat and he's in control and you go, oh God. But in a minute, he could totally trip over a banana peel and fall on his own knife and everything's okay. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's my philosophy. Bad guys were meant there to prop good guys up. Yes, the bad guys need some heat every now and then. And I figure if you're in a story long enough with somebody, you're going to get some. So I just a different philosophy, man. It wasn't too early for me.
Meltzer reports about the No Mercy pay-per-view we talked about in our Rock and Sock episode. He said before the pay-per-view last week, Jarrett, who blamed Ross for his leaving, cut a promo on Ross, and there was a situation with Road Dogg, a longtime friend of Jarrett, at the same show yelling at Bruce Prichard over the powers, causing Jarrett's departure by not getting Austin to change his feelings about working the program. It appears the heat, at least on the surface with Road Dogg, has since blown over. That's what Meltzer reports. Do you remember any of this? Did you and Steve ever talk about this?
Yeah. We did have a little blow up one day at TV, but it was a conversation. It was not a blow up. I went and found him and we talked and people saw that and all of a sudden it turned into, something. And really it had nothing to do with Jeff leaving. Like that was probably the impetus for me getting angry. And I also didn't look, Steve held some personal feelings against Jeff. And I think those are put away now, I'd imagine, but like he held a grudge against Jeff about some stuff that happened in Memphis. And so he didn't want to work with Jeff as his opponent. And in my mind, like he had just come back, I think, from knee surgery or had come back. Like, and look, this is just all in my opinion again. I'm going to cause some trouble again, and I don't mean to, but I just thought Jeff was the perfect character to work with coming back from a knee injury, coming back. Jeff's going to bump his butt off for you. And he's kind of a poopy heel that makes you not like him. You know what I mean? That was Jeff Jarrett's character, mm-hmm. and it worked. And so I just felt like it was a missed opportunity for everybody to get in. Maybe it wasn't the hottest angle going, but it would have been something that he could have sunk his teeth into and then beat Jeff, of course, in the program and move on to the next guy. But I thought it was a good rehabilitation program. That was not, however, the conversation that Steve and I had at all. That was just my personal opinion on the whole situation between he and Jeff. The other issue was a deal about airline tickets. And look, I did yell at Bruce and I did yell at Jim Ross a lot. And I've apologized to Jim Ross. I think I've apologized to Bruce, but I literally on the drive over today thought, I wonder if I ever apologized to Bruce Prichard for the way I treated him back in the day. Cause I was a egotistical prick and I didn't mind letting you know it. And I feel bad about that. So note to self, make sure you apologize to Bruce Prichard.
I know you want to do that for your sake, but I mean, just to pull the curtain back, you guys work at the same company now. Is there heat between you?
None at all.
Yeah.
None at all. And I thought about that because we had a phone call this morning.
Yeah.
And I spoke with Bruce and everything was great. Look, and I work directly under him. So it has been water under the bridge since 99 for he and I both. I take that back, and I want to be honest about this because these are secrets that could hinder my sobriety. I called Jim Ross right after I got clear because I knew I had to make my amends, and so I called some people. I don't know if I called Bruce Prichard, and we just started working together again about 2 months ago, so it really hadn't come to my mind because I've sat with him, just me and him, several times in the past couple of months, and it just came to my mind today. Have I ever looked him in the eye and told him I was sorry for all the things I did and the things I said? Because it was, none of them were warranted, and it was always to cut the deepest. You know what I mean? Like that's why when I would argue, I would argue to go for the juggler. You know what I mean? I either want to make you cry or make you fight me, and and that's and neither are good. You know, and so I might owe him an apology. He might tell me, yeah, don't you remember you called me and said this? I'll go like, oh, sorry. I just want to say it again.
Meant a lot to me the first time. I wanted to do it the second time.
Yeah. The point of all that being is there's no heat at all between he and I, but I don't know. Now it makes me wonder if I didn't look him in the eye and apologize, I haven't done my due diligence and done my part yet. And so I want to make sure I do that.
Well, back in 99, we're getting back to you.
Yeah.
Getting in the main event, son.
I know.
Raw.
What were they thinking?
11-1, the MCI Center, Washington, D.C. opened with a Rock interview. Rock got his normal great reaction until cracking on Austin, which drew a few boos. Rock versus Road Dogg went all of 1 minute before they were brawling near the curtain. All of DX jumped on Rock. Vince started yelling at DX and set up the show. Austin beat Gunn via DQ in 5 minutes and 37 seconds. Austin didn't get nearly the pop he usually gets. When he did his interview, basically the same interview he's been doing, for some reason it seemed a little stale and didn't get the crowd reaction he usually gets as well. There were boos for him when he made his comeback on Rock. He bled, probably hard way, since his eye was busted. Yeah. DX did a run-in after Austin hit the stunner. Austin didn't need help as he cleaned house, hitting X-Pac and Road Dogg with chair shots. All that being said, had to be good back in this main event, son.
Man, look, just you saying it reminds me of the feeling I got, like, and if you watch, you know, people who know, but the problem is very few people know. If you watch, you'll see me and X-Pac, like, and not just here, at any of the times we feed, you'll always see me looking for my turn and waiting my turn, because timing in feeding somebody a comeback is essential. And so you don't want there to be a stale moment. You want there to be bang, knocking you down. When he turns around, the other guy's got to be right there. There can't be some dead time in between there, you know? So it was we were very good at feeding people. The interesting part is they were asking, from a creative standpoint, they were asking for fans to choose between Rock and Austin, and the fans didn't like the question. You know what I mean? And so that's why they hit them with boos when hey, I don't want to see you and him. That's not what I'm into.
We got DX now.
Yeah, I'm into seeing you, and I'm into seeing him, but I ain't seeing into y'all punching each other. And the first thing we did was, in this particular show, was tie up DX with The Rock. And now, you know what I mean? And now you're going to inject Stone Cold in the story later. And I don't know, maybe it was by design to see who they're gonna go with, you know.
Is it hard to transition into being a heel? Did you think you needed to make any character changes on your part?
No, none at all. And look, that was the great thing about being DX. We started as heels. It was just, we were, and this sounds cocky and I don't mean it that way, but I feel like it's the fact of the matter, and the facts don't give a flip about your feelings, is I feel like DX started as heels and we were so cool that it turned us babyface. You know what I mean? And so they had to, then we split up and did all that. Then they said, okay, well, we started as heels. Let's see if we can't go back to there. And look, I feel like it was a kind of a marriage made in heaven, because there was some big pop moments with DX and The Rock and DX and Stone Cold and DX. You know what I mean? Like it almost seems like we used to close every show with DX hits the ring. And I mean, even if it was off the air, after Raw went off the air, DX would hit the ring and we'd know. Billy's the fastest. He's going to get there first. Pac's going to be second. And again, the timing was critical. So Billy's got to get in there and do what he's going to do and take a bump for this guy. And Kid needs to be right there behind him to be ready to take a bump too. And then I got to be right there too. And so I don't know, man. It's timing critical, and the talent doing it and falling out of everybody's way. Feeding somebody is an intricate part of creating and making a moment for a babyface. And if done wrong, it's awkward and slovenly. And so when we did it really well. And I don't even know what got me off on this tangent, but it's one of the things that Kid and I talked most about was our feeding during the Attitude Era, you know, during this time period. The fact that that we could feed like sons of a guns, man. We made baby faces want to run with us, you know, because Billy and me and X-Pac and Hunter too, but he just was the big guy. So he would, you know what I mean? He would feed a whole ton. He would shut somebody down sometimes, but man, we were a bad quartet. That's for sure.
Do you remember any talks of what the end game was for DX? Was there a plan, or was this just let's get started and see where it goes?
Well, my end game was probably just playing the funeral, and then they just if one of them would come to it, it would be a big deal to me. So I didn't. Look, if there were plans, I didn't know about them.
There's a lot of,
and I didn't want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't, and if I could change one thing, it would be that I would care more. Look, because I didn't care about my career. And that's the truth, because I was drug addled and I didn't think about creative decisions. And I would have people that do think like that question me a lot on all that. And I would just go like, I don't know, whatever, you know? And it was just like, I was just, so I wish I would have thought more about all that, but yeah, man, now we're heels and we're back on top and let's roll. You know what I mean? And sad, but true. I could do it screwed up.
There's a ton of talent coming into the WWF at this time. Both Taz and Kurt Angle are on their way.
You said talent and then Taz, and it just threw me for a loop. Go ahead though.
Are you a better sports entertainer than Taz?
I'm not even gonna entertain that question. Let me state first. He could suplex me out of my boots.
Okay.
He could suplex me.
Okay.
If we were wrestling, he would suplex me.
Right.
And tie me in a knot and wrestle me and blah, blah. You know this stuff when people boo at UFC? That's what he would do to me.
Oh. I love you so much.
I love Taz. I do. I really,
It sounded like...
yeah, no, I'm serious. I do. We have a great relationship, and I do like him. I just he actually hears that. But that look, I'm just playing. I am playing. But what did I say that was friggin' false?
No, he's gonna suplex. You're gonna be Broke Neck Jones.
That's right. You're right. I'm gonna be Broke Neck McGee, and he'll. Yeah. I'll still. Even then, probably be able to sing or something to entertain people.
Well, what did you know about? What did you know about Taz and Kurt Angle coming in at this time? Did you know them beforehand? Did you know it?
So I knew of Taz because, like, look, he was a badass and a big deal on ECW. So I definitely knew of him. Kurt Angle, I knew, won a gold medal with a broke freaking neck, and we should do like a neck pain sponsor or something.
A lot of network today.
But I knew who Kurt was. I had met him before too on one of his many visits, but I didn't know what to expect of him. And having said that. Excuse me, Kurt Angle, one of the greatest to ever come from collegiate wrestling. That their transformation, him and I would even put the Steiners up there with that. I'm sure there's a few more I would think about. I'm probably forgetting, but to me, I've wrestled the Steiners, I've wrestled Kurt Angle, I've wrestled a lot of shooters that became wrestlers. Kurt was head and shoulders above them all, man. Just because he had impeccable timing as well. In both his character's comedic timing and his timing in the ring. And so Kurt is a gold medal athlete for sure, and a WWE Hall of Famer. Like, it's not nothing Kurt can't do, you know what I mean, and succeed at.
As we get through this timeline, the next SmackDown was in Philly. Throughout the show, Austin, then Rock, then Kane confronted JR about Vince costing Shane the title on Raw, with JR defending Vince each time. Vince then yelled at JR because he didn't want him defending him. This led to a DX interview where they claimed Vince had joined DX. This all set up for Vince to say that he'd rather join the Klan than to work for WCW than join DX. Vince ordered an elimination match with DX versus Shane and Kane and Rock and Austin in the elimination match. First, X-Pac eliminated Kane, then X-Pac eliminated Shane, then Rock eliminated Road Dogg.
Wait, what?
Well, it took The Rock to get you out of there, brother.
Yeah, that's true.
That says something.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's pretty good. Then Austin eliminated X-Pac, Rock eliminated Gunn, Triple H eliminated Rock, leaving Triple H versus Austin. Vince interfered in the match and knocked out Austin by accident, giving Triple H the win. You see what's going on there?
We call that inadvertent. Inadvertently knocked out Steve.
Well, this is legit a seriously fun match. Go back and watch it if you have not.
Yeah, it's a blast. And look, to be mentioned in a conversation with those guys, and I will also add to everyone, Bret Hart could be in the same conversation. To be in the ring with those guys was, at the time, a pleasure because of where they were at. The only thing I wish, like I'd mentioned before, is that I had a clearer mind going through it all so that I appreciated the gravity of the situation. But hearing that, like, holy mackerel, I was up there for a minute. You know what I mean? And that feels good to me. And look, I don't take any airs on about the fact that those guys were all bigger stars than me. There's no doubt about it. Like they're all still doing stuff, and you know, and here I am talking to your dumb ass. But my point is, just kidding. It's just an honor to be in the same conversation, and so for a period of time, heck, I was over. I thought.
'Tis the season for clean balls. Fa la 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 la. Yeah. Our friends at Manscaped are helping you clear your driveway for safe travels this holiday season. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are at the top of every wish list. Grab some crop mops for your pops or the body buffer for the holiday lover. When this year's white elephant gift, and help all the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December by going to manscaped.com and using code DOGG, D-O-G-G. That gets you 20% plus free shipping. Manscaped is a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0, plus loads of little presents perfect for stocking stuffers. So what better holiday gift than giving the gift of good hygiene and a few laughs? Manscaped offers a handful of their liquid formulations, shampoos, body washes, upstairs and downstairs deodorant, gels, exfoliants, absolutely everything they could need to keep it clean. So don't let their chestnuts roast in the wrong boxers. Get them a pair of Manscaped boxers, specially made to keep the area cool and provide holiday comfort all year round. And now that you've gifted them the perfect privates, go beyond the grown with Manscaped's full body product line. Dad has nasty nose hairs. Save his life with the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. The Shears 2.0 is their full kit for nail care with scissors, clippers, tweezers, and a file for the traveling man. Plus, there's the new Preserve Cologne. That brings a light, breezy, woodsy feel to your woods and gives that fresh tree scent even after the Christmas is over. And if you're still using a loofah, lose it. Introducing the Body Buffer. Loofahs actually hold bacteria from dead skin, so help them throw out that disgusting old loofah and get the body scrubber that feels smoother but acts tougher. Lastly, top off the stocking with the crown jewel for their family jewels, the Lawnmower 4.0. The electric razor's advanced skin-safe technology is a life changer and known for reducing nicks and cuts on his Santa sack. Manscaped is here to make holiday shopping a blast, giving products they'll love and make them laugh in the process. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code DOGG, D-O-G-G, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code DOGG. Manscaped, for a perfect gift that will be the holiday's biggest hit. And we thank our friends at Manscaped for sponsoring this week's podcast. Seriously, go to Peacock and watch that episode. That's SmackDown in Philly if you have not. It's a great
and it's in Philly
match.
too. So good crowd. Look, crowd's always hot in Philly. They hate everybody, but sisterly, brotherly love my tail. But yeah, great crowd, great match. That is a good one to watch.
Next, what about State College, Pennsylvania?
Ooh, we were just in State College, literally, I don't know when this airs, but literally Sunday night, had a live event.
How's State College crowd?
I actually
Good?
went to the live event that was in Allentown on Saturday night after I attended SmackDown in Hartford, Connecticut.
Did you get good seats?
I had a box. And I didn't tell anybody I was there. I just went to watch the
Nicely
show.
done,
it
sir.
was a secret. So me and Ryan Maloney, my cohort, had a box, and what I wanted to do was watch it like a fan. You know what I mean? I wanted to watch the show, not. I knew what the run sheet was because I wrote it, but I wanted to watch it be executed. And look, when I write the show, I put some execution bullet points in there. But I also want the producers and talent to use their creative, you know what I mean, and come up with some stuff. So I like to watch it and see what they come up with. It also gives me a lot of ideas going forward as to how to make the live event tighter and more succinct and more fan friendly. So it was very cool. I'm sorry I took us off. Yeah, Penn State was always a hot crowd because of the college and everything, and Allentown was awesome too.
On this particular show, the Outlaws beat Snow and Mankind in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. Venus came out to distract Mankind. Gunn hit Snow with a chair, and Dog pinned him, baby.
Cheater, pumpkin eater, Billy
DX
Gunn.
did an interview, and Triple H pulled down his pants and showed his bare ass.
Yeah, hey, people do that. People do that. And
Man.
look, if you have a nice one, you're more likely to do that.
Are you saying
Like I'm saying, I got
Hunter
a
has a nice one?
huge pimple on my right cheek and some weirdly placed hair on the left. So I'm not going to be dropping trowel at the stop of a dime. But Hunter, whoo,
Great one.
what an ass.
Mankind and Snow did an interview with each blaming themselves for the loss. Rock beat X-Pac in 5 minutes and 54 seconds with the rock bottom. They mistimed a lot in the first 90 seconds, but the rest was good. X-Pac looked real good and also bled from the mouth. After a ref bump, X-Pac hit Rock with a chair to tease a near fall. After the match, Triple H hit Rock with a pedigree. Vince came out after a bunch of talk in the ring. Rock recovered and laid Triple H out with a rock bottom and people's elbow. You regained the WWF Tag Team titles from Al Snow and Mankind. Made sense for you guys to be the tag team champions if you're going to be the Dirty Heels, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it then gives you, like, you immediately look at the storylines and go, okay, we get the Outlaws back. There's a tag team. Who can they work with? Who all is the babyface tag teams they can work with? And I honestly don't remember at the time, but that's what you look at as your roster and you go, man, they got 3 tag teams they can work with. So we got the next 6-8 months of television programming right there. You know what I mean? So we're good. Excuse me. So yeah, they put the titles on us. Now we're at the top of the heap, and who can we run with? And of course they probably took them off of us the next week if they were smart. But
well, here we go. This is one for the ages. Finally, Triple H beat Test via countout in the title match in 10:23. Shane, as ref, punched Triple H early. Vince was also interfering. Typical Triple H.
Yeah.
Very hard work, and the match has this eerie lack of heat. They brought up the Survivor Series of 1997 about 100 times in this 10 minutes. Triple H came off the barricade onto Test, onto the announcer's table. Triple H used the pedigree, but Shane wouldn't count. Triple H punched Vince and Shane both and clotheslined Shane over the table. Fans were chanting for Austin by this point. Vince hit Triple H with the belt, but no ref to count. Finally, Shane got in, but Triple H kicked out. Fans actually believed for a second Test could win. Test hit the meltdown, but the video wall was on. Here we go. They showed a woman about to be gangbanged, according to the Wrestling Observer. Vince, Shane, and Test thought it was Stephanie and all ran out. Whoa.
I don't even like you reading that part, much less remembering it.
I had to purposely insert, this is from the Wrestling
Yeah, I appreciate you doing that. But yeah, so their fans are obviously the dregs
again,
of society.
this is a good time to announce that you are not in the room again on Creative.
Not in the room on Creative.
Yeah.
But it was exciting, and even though they did all that, he hit him with the title, whatever, and finally Shane comes in to count, and he kicks out. And it's like, oh, those were the great spots I love.
You could tell the crowd wanted Test to win. They were into it.
Yeah. Well, and look, that was... I looked into his credit. He's a big, good-looking guy who was coming into his own and really getting the hang of this and becoming a star. And so this was kind of the first time they were asked to buy Test. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
And
they
we
were
did.
asked to buy. Will you buy him as the champion? And for a split second, they bought it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so look, our heel run's working. The story with Vince is working. Austin's over like Grover, and Test is being built. So things are happening right now. Whether they're hugely successfully, oh God, the people popped and urinated in their trousers. Like, oh, they popped. It doesn't matter. We got some business to get done here, and we got to build some baby faces and take care of some heels, and you know what I mean? We're in a transitional period now, changing some players around. And so people they had just been cheering are now supposed to be booing, and they don't want to do that yet. And we're not, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. It really bugs me when they talk about, oh, no crowd reaction. Whatever.
Why do you think they kept bringing up Survivor Series 97? What's the point to continue bringing up the screw job, do you think?
I have no idea, to be quite honest with you. I guess to put some heat on Vince, maybe, but or Hunter. I don't know if people...
Yeah, weird time to do it.
It was very weird to me anyway, but look, I guarantee you there was a reason, and I guarantee you somebody thought it was a good reason, but it was to put some heat on somebody. I just don't know who in their mind they were putting it on, because to me, it's Vince gets the heat for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if there's heat, in all actuality, I think Bret does, but Vince gets the heat if you're looking to put it on fake wrestling character heat. Vince made that call, right? So he would. I don't know what they were looking for, if that's. And somebody may go, yeah, we wanted to do this, and I would go, oh crap, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
But I just can't think of it right now.
SmackDown taping on 11/9 in Baltimore. Main event was DX, an elimination match against Shane and Kane, and Test and Rock, with Austin as the enforcer around the ring. So again, he didn't take any punishment. X-Pac and Kane were both counted out. Dog pinned Shane. How about that? You got another pin.
Yes.
I mean, you're pinning everybody every week.
I'm pinning, dog.
Gunn was DQ'd, hitting Test with a chair. Rock pinned Dog, and finally Test pinned Triple H. So Rock and Test were both left as survivors. Arnold Schwarzenegger was there to promote his movie End of Days. The feeling was at the same demo
this was in
at
Baltimore,
his movie's
right?
appeal.
Baltimore.
What's that?
Baltimore.
Yes.
Yep.
They were pro wrestling demos, so it was a nice promotional fit between the movie and wrestling fans. The deal was made for it to be a one-time appearance. He did color commentary and got physical, punching Triple H. McMahon presented him with a replica WWF title belt. First off, if you have not listened to it, we talked about Arnold in our Celebrities episode, which was super fun. But we're doing the same match again as you had a couple weeks ago, but all this is to hide Austin because of his injury, correct?
Yes. And so, you just do what you got to do. And
Adapt and move on.
Look, that's what you do. That's what this is. And I'm away from a microphone. I apologize. That's you like I book live events. And so every day we have a person taken off, a person injured, a person needs the day off, a person, family emergency, whatever. And you have to shift and adapt, and you don't stop. You don't close the show down. You don't, okay, we're going to pivot for a couple of weeks. And it's what we have to do. So it doesn't matter if the observer buries it or not. You know what I mean? Like it's what we need to do. And so I don't know.
You just got to keep going. We're
gotta
going live TV every week.
Every week, and crap. No, I got a new saying, life happens, because it's the truth, right? Just life happens.
Yeah.
So
Especially in wrestling.
You adapt, and it's from the Marine Corps. You adapt, you locate and close with and destroy the enemy by any means necessary. So you adapt and you overcome. And that's the same mentality to me it was anyway. It's the mentality, and I say that, I'm my only point of reference. That's the mentality I took into it every time, was you go there, you show up and you go, wait, we're working with so-and-so? Well, dang, we're not even in a story with him. I know, but we got to do this and this. Oh, okay, cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there you go. And if you're a big star or you give a crap about it, you go, no, I'm not doing that. We should do this and that and that. And then you cause trouble and everybody gets mad at you. But I didn't do that. I just took another pill and had the match.
Well, you said it many times. At live TV, working in live television, a weekly program, things are going to change that you did not foresee.
And that's the only constant.
And we've still got a show to do. So
Yes.
we've got to figure out a way to get
That
through
bell
this.
is going to ring at the beginning and at the end, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. So if so-and-so who was in the main event yesterday got hurt, he ain't in there today. And look, kind of used to kind of joke and go, yeah, we lied. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, that's funny. But it's not really. Like you promote stuff that then you cannot deliver. And so you gotta kind of swallow your pride a little bit and your professionalism and go, this is what we got to do. And it's not utopia. It's not perfect world scenario, but it's where we're at. So push forward.
Card subject to change, my
Amen.
friend.
Amen.
Survivor Series 11-14-99 from Detroit. New Age Outlaws retain the WWF tag titles, beating Al Snow and Mankind in 13 minutes and 59 seconds. Dog, you almost went 14 minutes, man.
That's bull crap.
Whoa.
5 of that was me saying, oh, you didn't know.
It was
And I guarantee you, I said Detroit Rock City because that's just what I call Detroit every time, and I love it. And that's what got North Kakalaki, you got Detroit Rock City, you got Nash Vegas, you got Sin City, you know what I mean? Like there's certain Hotlanta, there's certain cities that I always said the exact same thing every time I went out.
We kept going to watch you guys in Birmingham. Do you have one in Birmingham?
Yeah.
But did you have a name for it? I don't remember.
Oh no.
Yeah, we weren't that important. We were like, oh God, we're going to Birmingham.
We're going to Birmingham again. My brother got carjacked there. I guess we got to go.
By the way, everyone's brother's been carjacked in Birmingham. That's a rite of passage.
Hey, truth be told, not the venue to talk about this at all, but got a Huntsville live event coming up. Yeah. Huntsville and Birmingham, actually.
Can you put me on the list?
I can.
Thank you.
That I can do.
I don't know what list it is, but just put me.
No, just Jericho's
I want list
list.
of catering.
Just Jericho's list. It has nothing to do with the WWE.
I just want to get into catering. That's all I need. I don't even want seats.
I just read this and I want to take us back. So Dominic DeAngelo and Marcus DeAngelo is our what is Marcus? Our director, our
super producer.
Super producer. And so his brother Dominic is our social media guy. And so he stated on here, the first WWE show Marcus and I were at was State College, where Dogg tagged with K Quick.
Come on now.
Oh, you didn't know? You better ask somebody. The D-O-double-G and K Quick. We're getting rowdy.
Rowdy.
We're about to move some things. Okay.
What did y'all move, by the way?
Oh, some things.
Furniture? Anything?
It was just things.
Just rearranging
Spelled
things.
with an A, yes.
By the way, they also spit out the incredible fact that the highest rated Raw ever, May 10th, 1999, with an 8.1, Dogg was not on the card.
I was not on the card. What I was going to do with that, and I'd like the opportunity to explain, is I was not going to read that part.
Okay.
And I was just going to leave it at what Billy was, though.
Oh, no. Oh, great.
That's the twist.
Oh, incredible.
The knife was already in there, but this is the twist. Right. No, I literally saw it later. He said, you weren't on that show. And I just thought, like, well, good, I won't bring that up.
I was sure to. I had it highlighted. I highlighted my computer screen so I wouldn't lose the track of it.
You started reading it again, and I was like, oh, is he just going to say a high-rated show again?
Shovel. Kicking dirt on you.
I totally am just kidding. I could care less, but I thought it was funny. It was like, nope, you weren't on that show.
Yeah. The one time they get the highest rating ever.
The one time I said, like, surely I was on that show.
Oh, you said it was so. Clearly, I'm on it. Guess what? I wasn't on it either. So we're even.
Village idiot. But remember, the village idiot said that thing about Bret Hart that had y'all all up in arms. So
right.
Come on, who's the idiot here?
So that means we got to take everything you say.
Still the idiot. Yeah, You shouldn't take anything. I'm just a dumb dude who used to wrestle and was a jarhead, and now I work in wrestling, and I have some experience. Like, that's all I'm telling you about. You know what I mean? Is that all I'm talking about is things I experience, way I feel? It shouldn't matter to any of you, but it does. And I appreciate the ones that put up with me.
Well, I'm glad it does, because we can come back every week until it does.
I love coming back.
By the way, I'm going to skip the recap of that, of you retaining the titles. I'll just get to the end. The Outlaws gave Mankind a spike pile driver, gun pinned him. 1 1/4 star to keep your average right where it's at.
Right where it belongs.
Yep. So you were clearly in your prime here. You got that 1/4 star bump there at the end.
Who was he given? Like, if the New Age Outlaws were that
versus
bad,
Al Snow and Mankind, got a 1 1/4.
If it was that bad, who was he given like 4 stars to? You know what I mean? Like, was anybody getting that kind of stuff?
Kenny Omega wasn't even born yet.
Well, he's born with 5 stars tattooed on his little cute butt. And you can ask Meltzer how that one looks. Good
well, while we're here, let's hit it. Did you enjoy working with Snow and Mankind?
Oh, I loved it. I loved working with Al Snow. Another good one to watch is me and him had a hardcore title match where I ended up pile driving him out in the snow. And I forget what building we were at, but he threw a poinsettia, like a potted poinsettia plant at full speed from about 10, 12 feet away and hit me right in the face with it. And if you don't believe me, pull that crap up and watch it right now. And I loved it. That's kind of the matches we were having, you know. And so I loved it. I loved working the same style with Mick too. Mick would bring it, man, and so would Al, and I did too, because I thought, look, the only thing I'm good at is this. And again, this goes back into my mindset and where I was in my active addiction and all that. Was my inferiority complex was, I can go out there and beat the crap out of somebody with some stuff and let them beat the crap out of me with some stuff, and people will pop for it. So let me just do that. You know what I mean? And so I did that. When I was the hardcore champion, I brought it and I took it too, but I was hammered half the time. So it was kind of okay. Till it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
I loved working with both those guys though.
We're talking about Survivor Series 99, and most people, if you say that pay-per-view, remember it because this is the pay-per-view where Austin gets run over and it put him on the shelf for the next year for neck surgery. Were you worried about Steve with his neck injury? What was the climate like backstage?
Well, the truth of it was, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that felt this way, but I might be the only one to say it. It was less worried about Steve and more worried about houses and television shows, and you know what I mean? Like it was the
business side of it.
Yeah, that's where my mind went, because look, I need Steve. You know what I mean? I need Steve to be there. I'm an underneath character. I need that main star to be there so that I can have some wiggle room here. I can perform. Having said that, there's also something to when a big star like that leaves, there's a vacuum and somebody has to step up. Now, look, I knew that wasn't going to be me, but I knew it might be an opportunity for somebody to step up. I did not want to be I didn't have the ability nor the wherewithal to be the top guy. So I didn't know who that would be, but I thought maybe Hunter, maybe somebody will, you know what I mean? Like maybe there's room for growth here because Steve's out of there. But for me, the first thing was, yeah, he's all right. He's not dead. They're going to do surgery on his neck. You know what I mean? And he's going to walk again, and he may not wrestle. We don't know, you know, but he's good. But God darn, now we're not going to have sold out houses everywhere. And so it was more of a business concern. And again, sad commentary on where my brain was at.
Well, you mentioned somebody's got to step up and then replace it, and WWF chose to put Big Show in as a replacement for the WWF title match between him, Hunter, and Rock, and he would go on to win. What did you think of Show winning the title at this spot?
So, look, I think the decision is made to put him in there, and I don't think you can beat him after you make that decision.
Because Hunter and Rock's already over.
They're over. And
so you've got to make him seem credible.
Yeah, one of them's going to, and he's a substitution.
Yeah.
And he's less than. You know what I mean? Look, he's the giant, for sure. He's Big Show, and he's an attraction no matter what. And this early on, he was still an attraction. You know what I mean? He was still a big bad dude that could move. And so I feel like because of the substitution, they almost had to put the title on Big Show.
It makes him belong.
Yeah, yeah, and whether you're not going to get what you wanted. You wanted Stone Cold in there, and you wanted him or Rock or somebody to win the title, and now you're not getting what you wanted. So how do we do this? And I think that's probably why the decision was made to put it on him, was because the decision had to be made to add him to the match. You can think I'm crazy and you can think I'm stupid, but that's the way the mindset. Hey, we got to, you can't make it a singles match now because you already booked a triple threat. And I'm correct in that, right? Mm-hmm. There was a triple threat already booked. So now you're not going to make it now you're making your attraction less than. So you have to not only add to the attraction to at least try to make it equal, but then in the thinking, and I can see this thinking, you literally make it bigger by putting a bigger, huge dude in there. And then the conversation is, okay, how do you beat Big Show? You know what I mean? What do you do? Does Rock beat him? Does Hunter beat him? Do they both? You know what I mean? And you start and you go, what if you don't beat him? What if he wins the title and then one of them beats him down the road in a story? You know what I mean? And so
you've created a new top
guy.
You've
created something. You know what I mean? And whether it's as good as, it's not as good as what you were going to get, but you can't deliver that now. Yep. You've promoted something that you cannot deliver. So what if I ordered a large pizza and I can't get you a large pizza, I better friggin' wait until I get, you know what I mean? Like, don't give me a medium one. Don't give me a small. I want it all. So they gave me the shakaroni.
Speaking of this is a fun deal. It seems like something that Road Dogg would love. This is within the last month or so when Show and Bossman had a feud over Show's father passing away, producing the classic funeral scene of Bossman stealing the casket and Show diving on top of it while it's driven away. This had to be fun to even just see happening around you.
What in the world was going on?
Incredible. Incredible. We're jumping on caskets. We're stealing caskets.
I don't know why we rented the Blues Brothers cop car with literal,
hit that picture back up. Yeah, let's get that picture again.
I think it was the exact car the Blues Brothers used. And
look at that.
Look, see the ropes on the roof even.
Oh, yeah.
There he goes.
Oh, that's a big casket if Show can fit on there.
Hey, think about that. They had to pull that casket and Big Show. The rear end didn't come off that car. But what were we doing? Around the same time, too, I think Bossman fed Al Snow his own dog or something, too. I'm not sure what. I mentioned earlier about it being more conservative in the long run. Maybe I was lying.
Continuing on, Raw on 11/15 in Pittsburgh opened with a DX interview with Triple H calling out Vince, and Vince made his verbal comebacks on everyone, threatening they'd be sent to jail for attempted vehicular manslaughter, and told Road Dogg that in jail, he'd find out what it's really like doing it doggy style.
That's a great line.
Yes.
Because you got to say that, right, to the guy that you're threatening with jail.
Yes,
you got to say, I hope you like your new cellmate. You know what I mean? Or whatever.
No, that's a standard.
Standard
procedure. I'll send you to jail and then make an innuendo. Dog, buddy, you got another pin. You pinned Snow with the pump handle slam.
Oh, that might be the only person I ever beat with that.
4 minutes. Well, he beat you with a poinsettia, so it evens out.
Yeah.
DX attacked Kane backstage. Test being going with a roll-up in 429. Not sure if that was a fruit roll-up or what.
It might have been.
Gunn hit the Famouser after the match. Triple H beat Kane via DQ in 442. Then Triple H goaded Vince into the ring, which caused Kane to be DQ'd. Vince attacked Triple H, got the worst of it, but with Kane's help, Vince pounded on Triple H. Kane ended up choke slamming Triple H after. Vince saying you were going to find out was pretty incredible. Working with Al Snow, you talked about how much you love working with him at this time. So let's keep it rolling. SmackDown taped 11-16 in Cincinnati. SmackDown opened with DX beating up Patterson and Briscoe backstage.
Yeah. Hey,
what?
If you're friends with Vince, we will whoop your butt. And I don't care who you are.
Those two old men.
They were old guys at the time, but hey, Briscoe's a shooter.
Briscoe was crying like a baby, and Patterson had stage blood coming from his nose and mouth. Stephanie was all gushing, opening up wedding presents, while Test could have cared less playing his WWF video game. Seriously, he was busy, and she wouldn't leave him alone. Those video games require full and complete concentration. Anyway, Test left, and DX beat him up in the parking lot and poured garbage on him, stuffed him into the trunk of a car, and Billy Gunn drove off. We're building to Test marrying Stephanie. What did you think of that storyline?
Yeah. So, look, I just remember Hunter stealing her and not letting them marry her, right? Or something happened like that. I don't really remember. But look, I thought it was what it was. They were trying to make him a big baby face and kind of pit everybody against us and give him a push. So I didn't dislike the story. It wasn't about me, but I was going to get to participate in it. You know what I mean? Where
do these people that drive off on the show end up? We just mentioned
there's a place in Norwalk.
We had Bossman driving off with a casket. We don't know where he ended up. Now Gunn has Test in the trunk of his car. Where's he going?
They're going, same.
Norwalk again?
Yeah, it's a warehouse in Norwalk where we.
So now Test is just laying near the casket of Show's father.
Actually, in the casket.
That's where he got the poinsettia. Yeah. That's where they got it. All right.
No, So I don't know where we go. We do drive off. At NXT, it used to be the triangle, the Bermuda Triangle was the parking lot. Like you pull in the parking lot. All kind of stuff's about to happen. Boats go missing. Like it's all kind of crazy crap.
Nobody returns from the parking lot. DX argued with Vince while Stephanie started pounding on Triple H. Test was driven back. And they said his nose was broken again. They must have purchased a huge supply of makeup blood at discount.
Was this in Baltimore?
This was in Cincinnati.
So Baltimore's
the
where
week
he broke
after
his
Baltimore.
Nose.
Yep.
So
now they're saying he rebroke it.
Well, it didn't heal in a goddamn week. I can tell you that much. It broke all over his face in Baltimore the week earlier, and I mean, it was horrible. And then I've heard the observers say stage blood twice now. It makes me want to put their head on a stage and then stomp on it. But it. So he's tried to dive into the ring to attack DX. And when he did, he hit that bottom rope face first. And I mean, it sprung him back to the floor. And when he came back up, there was blood everywhere pouring out of his face. He staggered, but he climbed back in the ring, and I just grabbed him by his shirt and pulled him on top of me so that he could come right in and be doing something, you know what I mean? And then maybe pull him off and say, block this and hit me, you know what I mean? And bam! And so anyway, when I grabbed him and pulled him right on top of me, blood went in my mouth, went in my eyes, up my nose, in my ears, just painted me. And so I don't believe we would have had to use stage blood the next week unless they were just trying to protect his schnoz. But it was one of the grossest periods, segments of my career.
You've tasted Test.
Sorry.
On this show, he says they must have purchased a huge supply of makeup blood at a discount. Triple H gave Test and Stephanie a catcher's mask to wear on the honeymoon. Outlaws kept tag titles, beating the Hardy Boys in 4 minutes and 38 seconds when X-Pac interfered, giving Matt an X Factor, and Dog pinned him. Another dog pin.
Was this the match? Was it in the cage? For people watching or listening, they just showed a picture of me getting leg dropped in the scruples and on my nooples by both Hardy Boys. And I'm thinking, surely you just said I won the match against the Hardy Boys. Don't you have a picture of that?
No.
Put up or just me?
We got hit with a copyright deal
cool,
there.
But that cage match, by the way, one of my only 2 moonsaults in the
Really?
history of my career. Was
How
in
about that?
That picture of that cage match it just showed against the Hard Days. And Jeff Hardy famously quoted, he just said this, and I've quoted him a million times. He said, bro, just do it. We'll spot you crazy.
We'll spot you crazy.
Yes.
And they did.
That was the exact line. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to do it. And I could do a backflip into the swimming pool. So I thought I just got to try to do it slower and let them catch me somehow. You know what I mean? And I thought I can do this. And it was horrible looking. And I was supposed to like cover them, moonsault, cover 1, 2, save, kick out. You know what I mean? Like, here we go. So I hit it and I didn't die and I pulled it off. And so I just popped up and started hitting the suck it. You know what I mean? And then Billy, like, you could hear Billy yell at me, like, cover him, dumbass. And I was like, ah. Yeah, it was a lot of good times all around.
If all else fails, hit him with the suck it.
Suck it. Billy was like,
By the way,
cover it.
I need to get this in because it's very rare.
very
Wrestling
rare that
Observer into this paragraph with good TV match.
Wow,
He didn't give you stars,
that's
but
Hardy Boys. That Hardy Boys got that. They didn't give that for us. I gave that for the Hardys.
Speaking of, this is before they're starting to hit their height. What do you remember of early Jeff and Matt?
Oh, I loved them. I still love them to this day. Like, I love them like brothers, like Southern brothers. Because, look, little known fact, X-Pac and I argued for them to get regular jobs a lot, actually. 2 different times went to Vince himself and said, these guys should be on the roster. And so they were great. They were coming to towns and just doing just doing jobs, and they were always around, and they were great kids, and their dad came with them, and I knew their father, and he just passed away, actually. So Jeff and them been dealing with that. It's been a while now, actually. I'm sorry, but a couple months. So just really close to those 2 guys. And also, little known fact, Matt Hardy used to make me and Billy's like headbands that would say like, oh, you didn't know, or diggity dog or something. Like, Matt Hardy was making those things for us and bringing them to TV. And
really?
We'd be like, heck yeah. So look, we loved them, and they could work, and they're willing to do anything. You know what I mean? It was, sometimes you go like, no, we don't have to do that, bro. Yeah, don't fly to the floor from the top of the, we don't have to do that.
At about this time, you got to be happy with your heel run at this point. I mean, you said you were
the tag champs.
There's a pretty classic WWF magazine cover that has all of you on top of a Tommy car,
Man, one of my
dressed
favorite
in
pictures.
gangster outfits. You said it's one of your favorites. What do you remember about this shoot?
I don't remember anything about the shoot. I just love the picture.
Look how cool that looks.
It's just super cool. It was almost like going to the fair and doing the old, the old Civil War photos and stuff.
You're in Gatlinburg, and
yeah. But it's so much cooler to do it with your shoot friends for like a shoot magazine. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Like, this is really going to be on a magazine cover, and we had that old car, and we had a great day that day.
Do you remember where it was?
Time. I don't at all, to be quite honest with you. And it was literally like, we got this.
You still got the suit?
I do not. They were rentals. They were rentals, and but yeah, I love that one, and I love the cover that I did as a singles with the Rottweiler. That's a cover that I'm proud of it, because I don't have any other covers of magazines that I was on, and so that one was cool to me.
Raw on 11/22 in Buffalo opened with Vince having disappeared and everyone looking for him. DX was in a limo ready to arrive, while Vince was hiding in a car in the parking lot with a baseball bat.
Whoa.
Vince drove the car into the DX limo and bashed it up with the baseball bat. The police were there to arrest Vince for trying to commit premeditated something or another.
Yeah.
While Vince was handcuffed, Triple H attacked him and kicked him low. Vince was taken away in a squad car. They did some bridal shower segments with Stephanie. Quote, pretty dull except for Mae Young acting like she was drunk and falling into the cake. Do you
Look, all of those are dull except for some high spots. You know what I mean? and that's what they're good for, the high spots. You know what I mean? And so a lot of the backstage stuff you have to do, like, but look, you got to tell a story, and every story can't be told with me punching you in the face. You know what I mean? And so you gotta go backstage and do some of these opening presents and all that to tell the story. And if you just want some wrestling, tune into Ring of Honor or Japan Wrestling, and that's what you'll get. And hence, that's why the Observer is giving 5 stars to everybody but us.
At this time, this had to be fun to be working with Vince like this as well.
Oh, it was a blast. It
Fully
was a blast.
involved.
The only bad part is he's not any good at wrestling. And so timing, working punches, everything, just brutal. But
Stories
but
and pre-tapes, great.
Hey, and good TV time, because you're really beating each other up for one thing, and you're on the show with the one of the top heels, if not the top heel in the industry, in Vince McMahon.
X-Pac beat Jeff Hardy in 331 in a match that sounded so much better before it started than after it ended. Lots of interference, so Billy Gunn throwing Jeff into an X Factor for the pin. Outlaws and X-Pac laid out the Hardys after the match. Triple H did an interview and said Vince attempted vehicular manslaughter a second time. Shane came out and said Vince accepted their match on the pay-per-view. DX all jumped Shane, and half the world got involved in a brawl, with Gunn pretending to hurt his knee, canceling an announced tag title match for Test and Shane versus the Outlaws. Test beat Road Dogg with Shane as ref in 128 when Test pinned Dogg with his own pump handle slam, doing it doggy style.
See,
finally,
Vince told me. He told me I was going to learn how doing it doggy style was.
Did.
Mission accomplished, sir. You got me again.
I love Billy pretending to hurt his knee to duck the match, but it sucks for you having to wrestle, right?
Well, it makes me wonder, like, did Billy really hurt his knee, or why is he saying he faked it? Like, why would he have?
Do you remember anything about that?
No, I don't. And I don't. Why would we have? I mean, I guess unless it was obviously he was faux, it was a faux injury, like he was totally acting. You know what I mean? Like, if you could see that, but if you couldn't, then I don't know why they would have canceled the match.
Yeah, why would they have all of a sudden changed it like that without a real injury?
So look, I just don't remember. Uncle Dave could be correct.
Thanksgiving night SmackDown taped on 11/23 in Rochester, New York. DX had Vince served with a restraining order.
Yeah.
DX invited a bunch of homeless people in the building for Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving.
Look at that. Yeah. You're so nice.
And I think Naked Median was caught with one of the turkeys. We'll talk about that later.
They did sketches the rest of the show where they teased giving them food, but eventually kicked them out without serving them. What a heel move that is.
We didn't even give them the food.
No, never fear. Compassionate Vince would never deprive a hungry man of a warm meal, and he invited them in the back for a feast before the show ended. You dirty heels.
Vince, you son of a bee sting. That's how they get you.
Yeah.
That's how they get you. You kick them out, he brings them back in.
I think he did that on purpose, too.
He did.
To make you look
Just
bad.
to mess with us.
Outlaws kept the tag titles, beating Hardys in a cage in 444. There's your cage. Road Dogg.
It makes me think, like, we literally had a cage match in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and people are fussing now about, they only gave them 12 minutes to have the match. Like, holy crap, we had a tag title match in 4 minutes?
With a cage. They lowered a cage for 4 minutes and got out of there.
So it was like 12 minutes before of match time.
He said, Road Dogg. See, I thought he was going to go on about this. All he says, Road Dogg did a moonsault block off the top rope. Matt did a moonsault block off the top of the cage. See, he just one-upped you. After a ref bump, Jeff took a bump over the top of the cage to the floor, and thus they should have won the belts, but the ref didn't see it.
Oh.
X-Pac ran in and threw Jeff back into the ring. X-Pac interfered in the ring, allowing Gunn to escape for the win.
Yeah.
4 minutes.
Hey, it don't take us long to beat people. You know what I mean? When we get our mindset, me and Billy can run through you like a hot knife through butter. You know what I'm saying?
You had a moonsault. You were blew up. You were done.
Well,
There was no way that was going on.
He called it a moonsault block.
Moonsault block.
Yeah, like a salt block. Like that don't even make no sense. Uncle Dave don't even know what he's talking about, bless his heart.
Maine saw X-Pac and Triple H over Shane and Test in 523. Shane looked pretty green here with his selling. Gunn interfered, attacking Test, leading to X-Pac using the X Factor. DX was destroying Shane in the ring after throwing Test out. Vince couldn't save him because of the restraining order, so he sent basically all the wrestlers into the ring, and it turned into the giant food fight. This is like a staple on SmackDown shows on Thanksgiving. Yeah. Did you enjoy or hate the food fights, Dog?
So I always hated them because getting mashed potatoes out of braided hair ain't easy. And so I always hated them. I knew I was going to come home and take my braids out and have to get them redone. However, when I wrote SmackDown, I loved the food fight. I was writing SmackDown
You're not involved.
Yeah, when we did the big food fight where Kevin Owens got pied in the face at the end.
Yeah.
By a secret, by somebody you didn't see. You know what I mean? It was behind the camera, and Kevin turned around and went, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And a camera hit him, and we never let out who it was. I don't think.
I didn't realize that we never had established that.
It was going to end up being Vince. But I think we just didn't say, you know what I mean?
Oh, this is like when you drive off of the casket. We don't know what happens.
You just don't know, and nobody follows up.
The nights are getting longer, but the breeze isn't the only thing that's getting stiff. That's right. This episode is sponsored by our friends at Blue Chew. Guys, we all know that confidence can take you far in life. That's especially true in the bedroom, especially when it's time to step up to the plate, and that's where Blue Chew comes in this holiday season. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead. You're going to be out and about. You're going to be ice skating. You're going to be snow skiing. Whatever the case may be, you will be ready whenever an opportunity arises. And the process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com. Consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. And the best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, no waiting in the line at the pharmacy and seeing if you know somebody right when you're getting your pills. That's not the case anymore. It's all done online. Plus, Blue Chew's tablets are made right here in the USA, America, prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. They say there's nothing sexier than confidence, and Blue Chew can help give you the confidence where it counts. Rekindle that flame on these cold nights here in the winter with our friends at Blue Chew. If you can benefit from that extra confidence when it's time to perform, chew it and do it. Have better sex. And we've got a special deal for Oh You Didn't Know listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use promo code DOGG at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code DOG to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring this week's podcast. Well, here we go. We're now down to the classic Raw from Los Angeles, November 29th. The infamous Test Stephanie wedding that ends up with Hunter marrying Stephanie instead. From the Observer, 11/29 Raw from LA, DX came out. Triple H said there'd be no wedding. Vince came out and said he was going to give Test a wedding present, a match with Triple H on the show. Now, keep in mind, Test is marrying into a wealthy family with a billionaire as the father. You'd think he'd get him $1 million home or at least a tanning bed.
Nope, a match.
No, they did a show-long sketch where Stephanie was having her wedding party and they were getting her loaded. Somewhere in there, Mae Young and Moolah double-teamed a male stripper. There's a lesson out there for all of you budding male strippers. Take your steroids, pump your iron, and you too can dance for a bunch of pretty drunk women and end up in bed with Moolah.
What? Oh, from old, I guess, Uncle Dan's like Savio Suave. You know what I mean?
He says, anyway, the guy bringing the champagne was in cahoots with Triple H, and little did we know he must have put an H-bomb in the virtuous Stephanie's drink. Woo! There's a lot going on here.
Hey, those H-bombs will get you.
There's a lot going on here. Test beat Triple H in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Vince, wearing a Vince McMahon mask, was the ref. He totally favored Triple H. Triple H had Test pinned, but Vince wouldn't count, so Triple H decked him. Shane came out, hit Triple H with a chair. Test came off the top, and Vince fast counted him. Triple H told police that Vince had violated his order, where he couldn't come within 50 feet. The cops checked it out, going to Patterson and Briscoe, who claimed Vince was in the bathroom, and they could prove it by the cops smelling the bathroom. Vince was wearing gloves, so I guess there was no fingerprints in the ring. I know Vince Russo gets a lot of crap, but he's out of the company at this point. Who do we blame here for this?
Well, that's Dog? This is Vince. This is Vince McMahon.
Okay.
If it has to do with fecal matter and smelling or throwing up or yes, kiss my feet, like he knew Lawler had an aversion to like gagging and throwing up, and like Lawler's got a weak stomach, so he thought the funniest thing in the world was put him in a kiss my feet match with Bret Hart and make him kiss his feet and stuff like it. Yeah, this is totally Vince.
And then they'll smell the bathroom and they'll know I was in there.
It was me, because my poop smells. They know it. Like, I don't know what he said. Incredible. Bless his heart.
X-Pac and Outlaws beat Rock and Foley and Kane via DQ in 420 when Snow interfered to save Foley. But it was just as Rock had Mr. Ass pinned. Rock was mad at Snow for costing him the match, so he gave him a people's elbow.
Should have give him a rock bottom first.
Do you think Al Snow belonged in all this? A lot of people look back at it now, but at the time, do you think he was the right guy? There's 6 of you in the ring. Al Snow's one of them.
Yeah. Look, I think he was definitely the right guy. He had the experience. He had been established. So I also mentioned earlier, like this was a formative time and creative for sure. Everybody's trying to find out how we're going to continue. And so we were moving people around. You see that people are being moved around. DX turned heel, rejoined and reformed and turned heel. Al Snow is in the mix here. And so different people are getting different opportunities here. And Al was getting one that I actually thought he deserved because he was pretty entertaining on television. Yeah. Al was very entertaining. And so I thought he belonged.
Then came the big wedding. The director of this TV show is the bomb. The way they shot the faces and shot this wedding, it was a little weird when they announced the groomsmen by their wrestling names, in particular, Edge and Christian walking down with women with real names. I mean, if the women were called Tory and Luna, it wouldn't be as silly. Then to make things sillier, Test came out to his entrance music, and he was announced not as Andrew Martin, but as Test. That silly family putting out all those wedding invitations should have listed him as Test, not Andrew. When they asked if anyone should speak now or forever hold their peace, Triple H came out, showed a video of Steph passed out from being spiked by the guy in the hotel. They drove to a quickie wedding chapel in Vegas, and somehow Triple H married Stephanie, and just before the show went off the air, Triple H mentioned that they had consummated the marriage many times that evening.
Why would he say that?
A couple things to unpack, as Conrad likes to say. The whole angle, it's entertainment, I understand. A little bit uncomfortable looking back on it now, but
100%, as is the whole Attitude Era.
Yeah, there's a lot of things.
So continue.
As in history as well, real life.
Yes.
Was the plan at this point for Stephanie to join DX? Do you remember that?
So look, I wasn't a part of those vignettes. Like they went and shot that stuff. I wasn't a part of it. I really didn't even find out about it until that day. So I don't remember a whole lot about that storyline. But I knew that they were. This is how I felt at that time. I knew I was coasting and just skating a little bit, but I knew wherever DX was going to be in a good spot because they turned us heel to be it for a reason. You know what I mean? So adding anyone to DX would have been a good idea. It's just, will they work with them will it work? You know what I mean? And to me, her being added to it was perfect. because you thought maybe you can get a DX Vince McMahon story now, and he married the daughter, and so look, I thought it was all good, and it was all good storytelling, and I kind of thought it was, I mentioned earlier, it got calmer or more conservative over the time period, but it feels like Vince was kind of going crazy a little bit with a lot of things, and some of them worked, and some of them we remember and we still talk about, and some of them we cringe when we talk about, but a lot of them were very successful moments in professional wrestling history,
Well, and unfortunately, I guess a look at society as a fan, we loved it back then. So
yeah,
I mean, it says it. Yeah, we can look on it now and say y'all shouldn't have recorded that. You shouldn't have read that. But we liked it at the time. Yeah. And you get older and you go. It was the market was calling for it. Yeah. At that period of time, and right, wrong, or indifferent. That's a fact. Yeah. I was about to say, doesn't make it right, but that's what we wanted. No, and it doesn't call for it now. It not only not calls for it, it denounces it, and rightfully so. And so that's where we're at now. Well, all good things come to the end from the Observer on December 12th after a week of bad publicity, which sent sponsors running and sent its stock plummeting. The kinder, gentler WWF came back with a toned-down SmackDown and a slightly toned-down, although you have to examine to closely notice, Raw show on Raw on 12/6 from Worcester. Road Dogg's catchphrase was slightly altered and will be changed. What? Dog, this is a pivotal moment. No more shiznit or doggy style. No. Although his opening the show and changing words slightly was almost to make a mockery of the fact that he had to change. Shiznit became poo-poo, and doggy style now became doggy chow. This had to be a tough change, wasn't it, Dog? Yeah. I mean, of course it was, but I don't know. This is where I just get angry at the Observer. You know what I mean? Like, it's all so negative, man. It's just so negative. Like, if you went to work and they told you, hey, no red shoes today. And all you wore was red shoes. Yeah. You'd have to buy a new friggin' pair of shoes, Uncle Dave. So when you get new orders, you march in that direction. And that's not funny or sad, it's just life. And the fact that you can't deal with it, I give you 1 star. Well, there's our new shirt. We're giving you 1 star. That people did not see that emoji. I am 100% a better sports entertainer than Dave Meltzer. Let's send him a shirt. He may be trained in jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, and a couple more Japanese cuisines. But I'm saying entertaining, I beat you every day of the week, Meltzer. Come on with it. Come on. Come on with it. Can you juggle, Dave? Would you make Dave Meltzer poop his pants? No, that's the ultimate question. He probably does train jiu-jitsu and all that crap. He'd probably beat me up, but I would poop in his pants. Does that work? I would poop while they're off or while they're still on? I'm not sure. Okay, I haven't thought out the plan. All right, but the ending is poop in his pants. The ending is him waking up with my poop in his pants. Okay, that's from the Observer. Let's go back to him. Shawn Stasiak was fired at the 12/6 tapings in Worcester, Mass. By Ross in front of everyone. Apparently, Stasiak has secretly kept a tape recorder in his bag and would tape while he was gone to hear what people were saying behind his back. And he also allegedly tape recording locker room and road conversations and had gotten caught. The issue had been addressed and appeared to have blown over, but McMahon made the decision on 12/6 to fire him. There was some concern among the wrestlers of what he had allegedly recorded. It never blew over. Don't listen to that. Don't listen to that. That never blew over. Okay. And it never does, by the way, especially unless you go somewhere else to work where you don't know nobody. Because that was bad. You know what I mean? I remember when they caught him, they dropped him off on the side of the road and left him there. Who caught him? You remember? I don't remember who it was, and I just remember the story that he got put out on the side of the road and they left. They mentioned it in Wrestling with the Shadows, secret taping in dressing room. Not something the company looks fondly on. No. Well, look,
I mean, I guess now you could probably get away with it and just be fine, but back then it was an invasion of your privacy, and so it was a little bit different, and God only knows who said what on those tapes. Now, in his defense, he said, I just do it to listen to conversation. I think he listened to podcasts back in the day when there were no podcasts. It was just guys talking in the locker room. You know what I mean? It was like he would listen to it, and you know, right, wrong, or indifferent. That was his defense. I don't see how you could do all that and not use some of that against some people. You know what I mean? Even if it's, I know such and such likes McDonald's, I'm going to bring them some nuggets. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not use some of that information that you came by illegally and unethically to go forward? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It was bad. Nobody ever forgot about that, you know.
On SmackDown, Rock and Mankind versus Jericho and Snow went to a no contest in 5 minutes. Rock used the rock bottom on Jericho on the stage. The Outlaws attacked Rock and Mankind. The show ended with a rock bottom on Gunn, but Snow ran in and hit Foley in the head. You were building to Armageddon, where the New Age Outlaws are to take on Rock and Sock Connection one last time. We covered that on our previous episode, which was a great episode. Everyone go listen to that if you have not. But the main story was Stephanie turning on Vince in his street fight against Triple H, and thus is born the McMahon-Helmsley Era. What did you think of this shift, Dog?
Look, I loved it. You see me there. I'm high and wearing a hat with a freshly shaved goatee. Nice necklace on, I see, that I bought with my winnings. Look, I knew we were going to be on top, and I knew we were trying to be the heels, and this guy stole his daughter. Now his daughter's against him, and like, I thought it was going to be the next great thing. You know what I mean? Like Austin and McMahon was. This is going to be the next great thing. And so, I don't know. I don't know how it turned out because I don't remember. But I remembered loving it because I knew they're not going to forget to put Vince on the show. And so you could bet your bottom dollar that we're going to be on there somehow too.
Well, just to make sure we document everything in this time, also Miss Kitty took off her top. So we had that going on.
Okay.
We'll keep it going. That was just timeline. Just for
But you just want just to throw that out there. Give me a second, if you would. Go ahead. Sorry.
Moment of silence. All
I'll
right.
take that moment of silence later.
Were you happy to be working with Stephanie? What did you think about working with Stephanie at this time?
Like I said before, when I first met Stephanie, man, she was a young kid, as was I. You know what I mean? Like I was probably 25, she was probably 19 or something like that. You know, it was very early on in our lives. So I feel like we've always had a great relationship. And we definitely still do about our children and, you know, just pictures and, oh my God, it's so great. And so we definitely have that same relationship that I enjoy that we've had since then. And it's definitely, she always tells me, she's like, you are the biggest goofball I've ever met in my life. And she's like, it's exactly like my middle daughter. And so I love that because I am, man. I'm the village idiot. I'm the class clown. I literally won it in my high school, and that's kind of, even in my house at Thanksgiving, I'll try to be the class clown. You know what I mean? I'll try to be the, hey, and have fun with everybody and just have a good time. And she kind of spots that and digs it. You know what I mean? It's the same with a lot of people that like me. They're like, he's a real blithering idiot, you know? And it's kind of you really want to, like, he's an idiot, but I love the guy. And so I'll take that.
So there was never a question in your mind, is she going to be able to hold up her end of the bargain?
Oh, yeah. No, she was going to be able to hold up her end of the bargain, even if it meant, but she was always, and she's gotten better over the years, always really good at promos. She was really good at memorizing and executing a promo. And so, there was no doubt. Look, she was her father's son. So she was a showboat, just like Shane. And so, she fit right in.
The next night starts to change. Vince and Shane are gone. Hunter and Stephanie are running things. And now it's DX's world, which, of course, you've mentioned. That's a good thing for you. This is the first time there's a heel authority figure combating babyface Vince McMahon. This is a whole different look for the WWF. Is it hard to keep that type of creative going?
Well, look, I think it's difficult because you totally changed roles and characters and everything. And Vince, the biggest heel in the world, is now trying to be a babyface. And we're trying to just do the opposite with the heel faction and a babyface Vince. And The creative is difficult. For one thing, you don't want to duplicate what you did in the other angle. You know what I mean? You can't go to the well too often with things you've already done. And it's just characters in a new role. And so what does that character look like when we execute a promo? What does the character use? The same language? Does he use the same voice? You know what I mean? So yeah, it's difficult. But creative is difficult. I know people on the interweb think they could do it, before breakfast on a Tuesday. But I would argue to differ with them.
Raw 12-13 from Tampa. Outlaws beat Kane in a handicap match in 2:42 after Kane survived several near falls before being pinned with a spike pile driver. Finally, Outlaws wrestled Triple H and Test. Test worked the whole match, and Stephanie was cheering for him despite all this. And Triple H being out there with Stephanie, the match had no heat, according to the Observer. Finally, Triple H turned on Test, and they all beat him up with Stephanie slapping him around and Triple H laying him out and several chair shots. This was the tease of Test joining DX. Would that have made sense at this point?
No, I don't think so. Look, because I think it was easier to make him and again, it was teased, but again, it was to make him a formidable babyface was, in my mind, that whole reason for all of that, for him being involved in all of that. Look, he was a big, tall, good-looking guy that could move, and he wasn't ugly. You know what I mean? So it was how do we best utilize him? For me, I think it was him as a babyface, and to stack him up against the newly formed new heel DX team was the way to do that. So yeah, I think teasing it was part of that, just a dip, a creative dip in the storytelling, you know.
But it ends up his stock kind of drops after this really fast. Well, do you remember why do you think that was?
Look, I think it came from a place were people gonna buy him? Were people gonna be invested in him? Was it all too fast? Was it all too soon? Is he too new? And so there were a lot of variables in. And look, I wasn't, again, behind the scenes for any of these creative decisions being made, but I can imagine going through the creative process and going, okay, we put him in the hottest thing going, and then we beat him up with the hottest, quartet going, and they don't care. And so how do we make them care about this guy? And I feel like he faltered a little because they were trying to figure it out.
SmackDown tape 12-14 in Tallahassee opened with this really campy team meeting, says the Wrestling Observer, with Triple H and Stephanie in charge giving orders. Rock was in a school desk looking really distracted. Stephanie and Triple H had a really funny argument, ending with Stephanie saying she wanted to go to ringside and watch Angle wrestle. Angle beat Test via DQ when Stephanie ordered the bell being rung because Test threw a closed fist. In 255.
Yeah, well, look, those are illegal.
We can't do that. Why would you do that?
Because he's trying to get disqualified because he doesn't think he can win.
DX, maybe his stock dropped because he didn't know the rules.
He didn't even know the goddamn rules.
DX attacked Test after the match. I mean, you got to show him. I mean,
we were teaching him a lesson in respect.
They showed blood on Test later in a match which took place because Triple H was trying to wear down potential tag title opponents of the Outlaws by having them fight each other. Matt Hardy pinned Jeff Hardy in the best WWF TV match in a while when Jeff's sleeper was maneuvered by Matt into a reverse DDT in 5 minutes and 23 seconds. Edge beat Christian in another good match. Outlaws kept the tag titles, beating Patterson and Briscoe. That's awesome. That's so good. We've mentioned them a couple times. Had to be fun working with Patterson and Briscoe.
Oh, God. To this day, I love them both so much. Gerald, Briscoe, both of them loved my dad. And look, the way to my heart, man, is through my, your relationship with my father. And a lot of the older guys I got to meet and come up with really respected my dad and had a great time with him. And so always had great stories with Gerald and Pat about my father. So God rest Pat's soul. What a great man, and what a great guy, a great wrestler, a great mind for the industry, who came up with the Royal Rumble and so many other things he would get credit for if credit was given in this industry. Pat Patterson and Gerald Briscoe, God bless him. I just did his and JBL's podcast not long ago, and we laughed for an hour and a half, and I don't know if we got anything done, but we had a great time. Loved working with those guys. can't wait to see him again, no matter where that may be.
That should be the tagline for this podcast. I don't know if we got anything done, but we laughed.
Hey, we laughed a lot. And the truth be told, that's okay.
That's what it's all
You know
about.
what I mean? I agree with you, dude. It's all about, we got this one life to live, and I've been talking with a buddy of mine lately about killing time, and not just the Clint Black song from the '90s, but
Killing
I
time,
love killing time,
killing me.
and why do we do that? Like, I feel like I wish I had some time back from the past. You know what I mean? Where I could.
Yep.
So why would I want to kill any time going forward that I can't get back? And so if I just sat here and laughed with you for an hour, man, that's living. You know what I mean? That's living.
Win on
Anyway,
me.
that's where I was with Gerald Briscoe and Pat Patterson. I love them both to death.
Raw Christmas on 12/20 in Houston is another show booked by Triple H and Stephanie. Outlaws beat Test in a handicap match in 326. When Gunn used the famouser and Dog pinned him.
Oh man,
You got so many pins. You're like a bowling alley. You got so
I'm
many
like
pins.
a bowling alley. I
Jeff,
probably literally don't have that many pins as a bowling alley.
Jeff Hardy and Christian beat Matt Hardy and Edge in 5-10, and Jeff pinned Matt after a 450 splash. Pretty hot match. Matt was accidentally busted open and kind of knocked silly when Jeff used a senton on him and their heads collided. You could see the blood flying out of Matt's head, probably from the nose. He was shaken up after the match.
You think?
When you see tag
Are you
teams,
sure that wasn't fake blood, Uncle Dave?
Stage
could have been stage blood. Don't know. Gee, how many Christmas.
you got to be. I don't know how much you watch Backstage, but in my mind, this had to be fun to see tag teams like Hardy's, Edge, and Christian. They're all coming up. They're all getting their things over, and they're going against each other.
Against each other to make them weaker to face me.
This is so fun.
I love it.
This
I
is
do,
wrestling to
because,
me.
Be quite honest, I agree with you 100%. This is wrestling to me, and it's what you would do if you were a bad guy and you were in charge. What would you do? Well, I would make that guy fight his partner. You know what I mean? I would make, and it's very Game of Thrones.
It is.
You know what I mean? And so I kind of love it too. I'm with you.
Later that week on SmackDown, Al Snow beat Rock. Just think about that sentence,
What?
by the way. On a bull rope match in 5:44, when both Outlaws interfered, Dogg hit Rock with a chair, but he kicked out. Gunn used the famouser on Rock, and he didn't kick out. The Posse, who were playing tuxedo servants for Triple H and Stephanie, got so excited about Rock losing that Rodney knocked a drink all over Stephanie. Tory came in, and she was looking really freaky, like a cross between a female impersonator and the Ultimate Warrior.
What? I want to cancel Uncle Dave. That I want him canceled for that statement right there. I want all of the
Tory
people.
looked like a female impersonator crossed with the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah.
Woo!
Uncle Dave, you said that about a woman who's somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's mother, maybe. I don't even know. But I tell you what, you're canceled out of my life right now.
I said worse to her than that at Ric Flair roast. I should probably ease up, but
It was a roast.
right. This is
And
just
I
the
like
Observer.
you.
This is a newsletter.
Somebody I don't even know or like said this.
All right, he says, anyway, the steps were, if Kane didn't win the title, then she had to spend the holidays with X-Pac. As the Posse's punishment, they faced Too Cool and Rikishi. Rikishi bonsai'd abs and pinned Rodney in 409 after a pile driver, and they danced, which the crowd loved. Finally, in an absolutely the best match Kane has ever had with Big Show, first Show was DQ'd for hitting Kane with a chair. Triple H and Stephanie explained it was no DQ. Then both were counted out. Triple H said it was a falls count anywhere, and there were no countouts. And Kane actually did a plancha earlier, and Show took a big bump over the barricade. The Outlaws interfered again.
Oh, man.
And it wound up with Show powerbombing Kane through a table and scoring the pin at 6:44. And the Outlaws then grabbed Tory at ringside, I guess to bring her to X-Pac for the holidays.
We didn't really grab her. We escorted her Not
Politely.
gingerly, yeah. I said, "Ma'am, do you mind coming with us?" And she was like, "Sure, where are we headed?" I was like, "I think you're going to Xbox for Thanksgiving." And I was like, "Do you like cranberry sauce?" And she was like, "I don't, but if you," I mean, there was a conversation had, and then I delivered her gingerly to Xbox house.
By the way, over the holiday, do you like cranberry sauce?
I don't.
Okay, me neither.
Okay, good.
Okay,
yeah,
we're
I just
good.
I don't eat it. We don't have it, but I can assure you, we're taping this thing the day before Thanksgiving, and at my house right now, there is some Bobby Flay stuff going down.
Oh, yeah.
That would make Bobby Flay lay in the corner naked and cry.
Come on now.
Because we cook in the South, son.
Hey,
I'll come over there and cuddle with you. I'm sorry. What we say?
I don't like cranberry sauce, but over the Thanksgiving holiday, I had jalapeno cranberry sauce.
Oh, are you one of those people? How much longer do we have here? Because I don't.
Just a couple. We're good.
Okay.
We're good.
So are you one of those people that eat really hot things just to say
No.
you ate really hot things? So my son-in-law did this chip challenge where they send you a chip, one chip in the mail, and he did it. And dude, he cried and crapped himself and threw up and did it all. And I thought, why did you do that?
Yeah.
My God.
No,
why?
that's my wife. She loves as hot as you can get it.
No. Look,
If we're going to eat like Thai food, she wants all the stars.
I tell
All
you
the
what,
stars.
Yeah, we ain't going to Thai food. Me and your wife ain't going there. We're going to the Golden Corral, and she can put some damn Texas Pete on something.
If you don't like cranberry sauce and you try jalapeno cranberry sauce,
Yeah.
you just take it and then just pour it in the garbage, and it'll save all of us some time. Apologize.
Let me tell you what I used to love at Whataburger. Remember they had them jalapeno cheddar biscuits?
Okay.
And you could get it with a sausage, and they had strawberry preserves that you put on it. Good God, Gertie, 10, 20, 30. I'd order one of them right now if I could.
Wait, so it's a jalapeno biscuit.
Jalapeno cheddar biscuit. Like with
Okay.
cheese, yeah.
With
Sausage in the middle, in the biscuit.
breakfast
With
sausage.
Yeah, with strawberry jam on it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was delightful.
Are you always strawberry or do you go grape?
No, I'm great. I'm great.
Yeah, I'm great too.
100% of the time, except for with this one,
With
because
the
it came that way and it worked. And so I thought, okay, I'll just eat it like this.
It reminds me of it's close, but one of my greatest inventions ever was I got the Red Lobster biscuits,
Oh, yeah.
and we got an order of them to go, and we got an order of Chick-fil-A chicken nugget tray, and we put those in the Red
In 'em?
Lobster biscuits.
Come on.
Come on now.
Come on.
Change the angle of my dangle,
Yeah, that'll change a lot of things on your dangle.
including my pants size.
That sounds really good. Really good, man.
Okay, we're supposed to be talking wrestling.
It's okay. These people are getting holiday advice. Who's not, Dominic? You're gonna have to come to my house. I got a Whataburger 4 miles from my house.
Our crew's saying they've never had Whataburger.
Yeah, we will get you by the way, Dominic, the hamburger's big as you are. So
I was about to say, look at Dominic and his size. We know he's never had Whataburger.
yeah, bless his
We
heart.
knew that going
Eat a
in.
friggin' cheeseburger, Dom. Yeah, let's talk about wrestling and finish up. Now I got me thinking about my wife cooking at home. I want to get home.
All right, we're going to wrap up this. We got some stories. We're close here.
Okay.
All right, so the Mean Street Posse. We mentioned them. What'd you think of Shane's boys hanging around with DX? What'd you think of the posse?
Well, look, I love him. The kid in the middle, if
at
you're
him.
looking at the picture, I think that's Joey Abs, was actually one of the Hardy Boys' friends and was wrestled out of North Carolina. And so he was a good kid that they brought in to put with these two guys. Because the other guys, Pete and
Repeat?
Yeah, Pete Gas. And what was the other guy's name?
No clue.
I
Zero
don't
clue
remember-
from me.
I don't remember either.
What, the Eminem guy or
Pete
the big?
Gas, Joey Abs, and
Rodney.
Rodney. And so, yeah, those guys were Shane's friends for real. But yeah, look, I loved them being there because they loved being there. They loved being involved, and it was like, oh my God, here we are on we watched this our whole lives. We grew up with Shane. Now here we are doing like I thought that kid, they had to put that kid with them so that one of them could wrestle, but they were still all 100 times better than Shane and Vince combined. It was, you know, Shane and Vince just never got really good at wrestling. Like I ain't doing some of the things they did, that's for sure. But they never finally got finished and graduated from wrestling school.
Was Rodney a better sports entertainer than Bret Hart?
No, he was not.
You had to think about it.
I did have to think about it because I wanted to think like, okay, let me think about the two.
Pete Gas can go. All right. SmackDown taping on 12/21 in Dallas. Test. Oh no, Test beat Road Dogg.
That's easy. Hey, that's easy to do.
He hit him with his mask. He hit him with your mask, dude.
Oh, it probably hurt.
And using the meltdown and elbow off the top for the win, Test continued to beat on Road Dogg until officials stopped him. Outlaws and Triple H came in to confront Stephanie. The two argued. Stephanie said the sex was great, but business was business, and she was in charge. Triple H said he wouldn't leave the room, and Stephanie brought in police officers to take him out. Kane beat Billy Gunn with the choke slam. He was about to tombstone him outside the ring, but Gunn rammed Kane into the post. They brawled until Road Dogg told Kane he knew where Tory was. That's because you had politely escorted her somewhere.
I knew exactly where I delivered her to.
The mind games.
With kid gloves, mind you.
The mind games aspect of all this, dog. The teasing of Stephanie and Hunter breaking up. This isn't sophomore fun and games DX, but different layers to the story.
Yeah.
What's more fun? I think I know the answer. Sophomore babyface stuff, or we're doing layers to a story here.
Well, yeah, the sophomore babyface stuff is always funner. But this was really fun, too, because we were getting to sink our teeth into something. And to your point, it was a story with layers and different beats. And so we were involved in that every week. And so it felt good. It was really rewarding to be involved in that.
It's kind of like the first episode of a show nobody's ever seen. You got to set up so many storylines that sometimes people are like, I watched it, it was boring, it was hard to follow. It's like, chill out. Let's just see how they start unraveling all this.
Because that's what the first thing I thought to myself, I would never watch a show with zombies eating people if you paid my friggin' way to watch it. And Chris Jericho said, yeah, I'm not into that kind of crap either, but the characters are really interesting.
Yeah, that told the story.
That made me go and download the first season of The Walking Dead. And I watched up until about the 5th season where it started getting a little, all of a sudden the guy had a tiger. And I was like, okay, what are we doing here?
I actually like Tiger Guy, but I did bail right after that.
I like Tiger Guy too. I think he was a great character. But I just felt like at that time I've started losing some interest towards the show. But it was exactly right. I got interested in the characters, and so to do that, each character has to have some time on the show and show their character traits so that fans get to know what that character is and how they respond in different scenarios. And it takes time, like you mentioned. It takes time. I don't know who you are and what you're all about, but as we are in these new roles, we have to develop and establish what our characters are, and that takes some time, you know.
'Tis the season for clean balls. Fa la 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 la. Yeah. Our friends at Manscaped are helping you clear your driveway for safe travels this holiday season. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are at the top of every wish list. Grab some crop mops for your pops or the body buffer for the holiday lover. When this year's white elephant gift and help all the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December by going to manscaped.com and using code DOGG, D-O-G-G. That gets you 20% plus free shipping. Manscaped is a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0, plus loads of little presents perfect for stocking stuffers. So what better holiday gift than giving the gift of good hygiene and a few laughs? Manscaped offers a handful of their liquid formulations, shampoos, body washes, upstairs and downstairs deodorant, gels, exfoliants, absolutely everything they could need to keep it clean. So don't let their chestnuts roast in the wrong boxers. Get them a pair of Manscaped boxers, specially made to keep the area cool and provide holiday comfort all year round. And now that you've gifted them the perfect privates, go beyond the grown with Manscaped's full body product line. Dad has nasty nose hairs. Save his life with the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. The Shears 2.0 is their full kit for nail care with scissors, clippers, tweezers, and a file for the traveling man. Plus, there's the new Preserve Cologne. That brings a light, breezy, woodsy feel to your woods and gives that fresh tree scent even after the Christmas is over. And if you're still using a loofah, lose it. Introducing the Body Buffer. Loofahs actually hold bacteria from dead skin, so help them throw out that disgusting old loofah and get the body scrubber that feels smoother but acts tougher. Lastly, top off the stocking with the crown jewel for their family jewels, the Lawnmower 4.0. The electric razor's advanced skin-safe technology is a life changer and known for reducing nicks and cuts on his Santa sack. Manscaped is here to make holiday shopping a blast, giving products they'll love and make them laugh in the process. You can get 20% off and free shipping with the code DOGG, D-O-G-G, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code DOGG. Manscaped, for a perfect gift that will be the holidays' biggest hit. And we thank our friends at Manscaped for sponsoring this week's podcast. Did you find it hard for the crowd to boo you since they love DX so much?
I think they found it harder to boo us than we did. You know what I mean? Like, look, I am a performer. Like, I went out there and I wrestled, and I could be a good guy, I could be a bad guy, and I could do both. And I thought I was okay at both. Keyword okay. I didn't go past that. And I thought, like, crap, I lost myself.
How much the crowd reacted to you?
Yeah. I felt like they liked us, so they had a more difficult time booing us than I had a time with them booing me. I like being a heel when I'm a heel. I like it. I didn't have to change much of my character to be a babyface in DX or a babyface road dog. I was kind of a white trash, scummy person to begin with as a character. So it was very easy for me to go, suck it. And then go, suck it. You know what I mean? Like just turn heel, just be a bad guy. And so I loved it. I think it was harder for them because they kind of liked us too, you know?
It was funny thinking about this whole time, reading the notes, thinking back, watching some of the matches. I thought, I don't remember ever thinking to myself, is the Outlaws, are they heels or are they babyface? You were just the Outlaws the whole time.
The New Age Outlaws, and sometimes you come out and you hit a good guy, and sometimes you come out and you hit a bad guy. You know what I mean? And so it's just the hat we wore. You know what I mean? And I feel like it was almost, and sounds braggadocious, and I don't mean it that way, but it almost was like we were superstars. So and I'll give you an example of today, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is such a superstar that people love him. People love him and they boo him, and you know what I mean? Like I want to pay to see you, and your character is who I want to see, but then allow me to respond however I want to. You know what I mean? I will pay to come see your character. I will boo or yay how I please,
based on what I want.
Yeah.
Big Show, no contest, Mankind in the title match. Stephanie did color. Crowd was totally dead, paying more attention to a beach ball in the crowd. By the way, beach balls are undefeated in the crowd.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On any sporting event, any baseball, football, the daggum beach ball wins every single time. Triple H was hung in a cage above the ring as Mankind got the Sacco Claw. The cage magically was dropped into the ring. Test, Edge, Christian, and Jeff Hardy, Matt apparently missed the show due to injury the night before, also hit the ring. Stephanie and Triple H argued. Mankind went to hit Triple H, but he put Stephanie in front. Stephanie then kicked Mankind, and Triple H hit the ref and Mankind both with chains. Outlaws attacked Mankind and Show. It ended up with Stephanie and Triple H hugging, with everything that had taken place beforehand being a ruse. You guys dropping the cage, your heels. Did you know at this point that Triple H was getting the title back?
I did not. I did not, but it totally makes sense. You know what I mean? Like they're establishing us. They're establishing us at the expense of some other pretty big stars too. You know what I mean? So they're taking the time to establish us as superstar heels, and in hopes to bring some of those baby faces up to work with some of us. So look, I loved it. I going back and talking about it now is the only time I realized, like, man, that was really cool. I was in a top spot, and that was really awesome. Like, I just don't think about that a lot, but it's very cool when I do think about it.
Did you also know at this point that Mick was going to be finishing up with the company?
I did not know that at all.
Raw on 12/27 in Greensboro opened with DX and Stephanie in the ring, and Foley came out and tried to turn DX on Triple H, saying if Triple H gets the title, he'd leave DX. Foley called Stephanie a hoe and got attacked, which is what happens when you call somebody.
That's what happens when you do that, Mick.
Rule 1, call him a hoe when you get whipped.
Rule 2.
Rock cleaned house. Stephanie then announced Rock versus Mankind. Loser gets fired match. Called a pink slip on a pole, which actually, in explanation, made no sense because the guy who went up the pole, got the actual pink slip, was the one who kept his job. Tory told Kane that X-Pac was a complete gentleman. Test then put his arm around Tory, but Tory wigged out and went crying to Kane, saying Test violated her.
Oh, that's how it is nowadays. I think she was just being a heel.
Thoughts quickly, any on pink slip on a pole match?
Pink slip on a pole. No, I think they were trying to come up with ideas, and this is where Russo got the idea for Viagra on a pole match.
Of course.
In WCW.
Rock would defeat Mankind for Foley to lose and be fired. This is the ultimate heel move for DX, isn't it? We've now got Mankind fired.
Mankind is gone. Yeah, that's heat.
Pretty heel move right there.
I didn't even realize that happened. I wondered where Mick went.
You guys. Outlaws beat Too Cool in a WWF tag title match in 2 minutes and 40 seconds when Grandmaster had Road Dogg pinned after a leg drop off the top, but X-Pac used the X Factor on Grandmaster, and Dogg pinned him. Rikishi came in and hit a pile driver on Dogg, and you're getting whipped in this.
I do that very well, though, so I feel like it happened a lot.
This is only 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and you've already been leg dropped off the top and pinned, and now been hit with a pile driver with a Rikishi.
It speaks to my toughness, really.
And then he gave X-Pac a belly to belly. That's a big belly.
That's a big belly.
To a small belly.
Only thing would be worse if he did that big booty to me in my face.
He went on to bonsai X-Pac, but Billy Gunn pulled him to safety, and they all danced. Too Cool. All of a sudden got hot around this time from the dancing gimmick. I got to say, I was a 100% fan.
Me too.
Were you surprised how fast and heavy they got over, and how much did Rikishi add to it?
No, I think they got over because they were funny and entertaining, and it was kind of it was almost like a shtick of a caricature of the white guy. You know, I'm pretty fly for a white guy. You know that. So I think it was entertaining. Of course, Rikishi had already been a top guy and had been worked for the title and stuff. So him being added was just a huge bonus, literally a huge bonus. So I thought they worked well together. I wasn't surprised by their fame or their quick rise to the top or to the upper card because. Look, I worked with Brian in Memphis. Me and him worked for the USWA title a bunch of times. So I knew what Brian could do, and I knew he was really good at it. And Scotty 2 Hotty had been doing jobs kind of like the Hardy Boys for a period of time, and we all knew him, and we all knew he could go. And so it was like, hey, yeah, these guys they're gonna be great. So yeah, it didn't surprise me when they were.
To tell you where I'm at as a fan, this was right up my alley. I want all this. I want all the sports entertainment stuff.
Me too, man. Me too. And look, that's philosophy, right? It's a philosophical mindset. It's just different than I don't care about a 5-star match if I'm not entertained by a 5-star match. Look, I can watch a match and go, ooh, oh crap, he hit it. Oh, you know what I mean? But if I don't care about the guys, it doesn't make a bit of difference. If I don't care about the individuals in the fight, I could care less. And I think a lot of people are like that. Like, yes, I'd love to see a fight, but if somebody I don't care about's in it, I don't really care about the fight. I don't care about who wins. I don't care about who loses. I don't care. It's watching a train wreck.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. When you pass by, you don't really remember it. You don't go to, man, I saw a train wreck yesterday. I mean, you do that, but you don't go like, my cousins were in there and you know what I mean? Like you don't, it doesn't relate to you unless you're attached to it somehow with an emotional attachment. And so just a bunch of doing wrestling moves. I got 0 stars for you, my man.
Finally, Show beat Triple H in the title match in 5:55. Show was really hustling, but it was average at best, according to the Observer.
Of course it was.
I don't want that to get back to Show and claim that
did Show he must not have worked with a Hardy Boy because the
that's the only person he's put over.
He's put over so far.
Tim White got bumped. Dog used the low blow and Gunn hit Show with a belt shot, but he still kicked out of the pin. Show was cleaning house on DX when Triple H got a chair and nailed him. Foley came out and hit Triple H with a chair, and Show chokeslammed and pinned Triple H to end the show. Then, SmackDown 12:30 in Richmond, Triple H told X-Pac that if he didn't beat Big Show, he was fired. X-Pac versus Show ended up as all of DX versus Show, as one by one, Triple H added members, including himself, to the match, and after a hard chair shot, Show bladed, and all 4 guys destroyed him until X-Pac made the pin. 6 minutes and 19 seconds. At least he didn't say stage blood here.
He said instead he wanted to tell everybody how he knows what the inside wrestling lingo jargon is. And he said, hey, listen to this, guys. I got some inside info. He bladed. And nobody says bladed. If you do, then Jiminy Christmas, piss up a rope.
This is a complete dynamic change. As you can tell, Hunter is now running the show. Was there too much of him having power that made you guys less, you think? Or
yeah, I think in the big picture, yes. Because how long can you do that before it actually gets boring? How long can you just, before everybody goes, yeah, we're not doing this no more, dude? You know what I mean? Like, how can you realistically, how long can you carry that out? And I think sometimes you don't know when you get to that point until you're there. It's almost like, we've lost, this is no good anymore. You know what I mean? Like you watch it back and go like, yeah, this is not entertaining anymore.
Let me ask you this from the creative side, especially now that you're in it more now. Is the point though to run it until it's done? I mean, you don't want to bail. Because I think if you bail too early, you might go, we could have run with that a little bit longer.
100%. But I think the point I want to make is the fact that Hunter's the heel in charge and can just take the pee out of the baby faces. He can just do anything he wants.
Yeah.
That can only last so long. Because as a viewer, I don't want to watch.
We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, when the bad guy, he's just going to screw over my guy, and I'm not going to, you know what I mean? And so you can only run that for an extended period of time. I guess my point is you don't know what that period of time is until you're in it, and you kind of go like, hey, we need to get out of this, man. This is getting lame. Or this is going great. We can do it for 6 more months. You know what I mean?
All right, dog, we're going to wrap up on the first Raw of 2000. It's Raw from Miami Arena. First of all, we're all surprised we've got to Y2K.
Miami.
We've all surprised we've made it to Y2K. I mean, we're supposed to die.
We're alive. Yeah.
When it hit midnight, we're supposed
Jericho
to die.
was supposed to kill us all.
Yeah, it's Raw from the Miami Arena, and Triple H is going to regain the WWF title over Big Show to launch the new year. This is from the Observer one final time. Rock, who said he finally came back home and was getting his usual unreal pops before calling out Triple H. Triple H said he loved to wrestle him but wanted the belt, and instead told Rock he'd have a 1-on-3 match where Rock would be fired. We're firing a lot of people here.
We're fired.
Rock would be fired if he lost against Outlaws and X-Pac. Triple H won the title pinning Show in 7 minutes, 7 seconds with a low blow and pedigree. Amazingly, clean heel title win. Like, shocking. Match didn't have much heat early, but it was about as good as you can get with Show in there, and it got good by the finish. He's at least got a lot more stamina with all the weight he's dropped. The controversy was supposed to be that Triple H used a low blow behind the ref's back. The funny part of this is the ref was looking right at the Titantron, which 10 times larger than real life in front of his eyes. He could see the low blow. They had balloons coming from the ceiling and major pyro. They put this on at the end of the first hour, so it would be head-to-head with the Nitro main event. They at least made the title seem important. So, couple questions.
Listen to the tone of it.
Oh.
They at least made the title important with the like we work behind the scenes to not make it important, you moron.
And you go, guys, tonight we need to make it important.
You know what? And that's what like a producer says, so you just want him to have a good match? No, moron. I want him to have a crappy one. Like, come on, guys. And that's what, like, it's just totally a slant against, I don't know if it's against WWF at the time, WWE, but it's just, he doesn't like Hunter. He doesn't like Outlaws. Kid can't do anything right, apparently. But Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, had a hell of a match when they faced each other. They had the best match I've seen in a long time. And you know what I mean? It's just like, what is, there's obviously a tainted agenda, and it's not fair.
You made me emotional.
I know, Dave. Suck it.
All else fails.
Seriously.
With the suck it.
No, seriously. I'm serious at this time.
Since we've wrapped it up here, what'd you think of Big Show as champion?
Well, look, I think I think anything with Big Show, especially around this time, was the right move. I think when he started getting booked badly when he became big goofy Big Show. You know what I mean? And that was not of his design. I'm sure that was creative and all this. But like I felt like he got poorly booked post all this time, like 2005 on, you know what I mean? Like, or something like that, because I felt like then he became the butt of some jokes and then blah, blah, blah. And it's just downhill from there. But like, he was a big, huge guy that when he got in the ring with you, people just said, oh, he's going to kill you. You know what I mean? Like, that dude's going to murderize you. Yeah. And so I think it was a smart move to put, how do you take the title? Who is going to take the title? Because that's the question. Who is going to take the title off this mountain of a man? And whoever does is a mountain mover. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that to me is why there's many reasons why you put the title on somebody, and it might be just to take it off of them and put it on somebody different to make a big statement. And I don't know, again, I forgot who took the title off a show eventually.
Hunter.
Oh, was it? So
it was Hunter this night.
So totally the right call if you're establishing, holy crap, Hunter is the game. He's the cerebral assassin. He's the champion. You know what I mean? And then he had that run where he was the guy. And the decision was made to make him the guy. And so, but you got to protect Rock. And you got to protect Austin, and you got to respect. I know Austin was hurt, I think, but you got to respect. You know, you got to protect these baby faces. So you have
somebody's got to lose.
You have Big Show take the title, and now, oh my God, who's going to beat him? Hunter. You know what I mean?
And you've also made Big Show in the process.
Yeah. You've done for both of them. And look, I know the argument can be made like, oh yeah, but it's just a week reign. They only gave him 6 weeks with the title, and they didn't do that. And like, okay, well, goddamn, you sure are spending a lot of time looking for negative crap to say. Like, is there anything good about it? Let's start there. And I feel like when we read these reports, it's about looking for and finding fault, even in, like, some of his judgment, like he came out and was dead. The crowd was dead. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. You had to go out of your way to say that. Like, just say it. The crowd wasn't feeling, like, if it didn't work, if it didn't go over, there's a way to say that without talking like you're friggin' Carl Gotch, you know?
Well, here's the wrap up of the show. It's amazing seeing Rock in his hometown going 1-on-3 against 3 top heels. By the way, he called you a top heel here.
Oh, hey, thank you.
That's the best compliment he's ever given you.
I got 2 words for you.
And literally nobody thought for a second he was going to lose at any point. It was still a pretty good match. The crowd never, by the way, pretty good match. Best he's ever rated you.
That's the best he's ever, I'm sorry for what I said a minute ago.
But he says the crowd never took it seriously when Rock was about to get pinned, but popped huge for his comebacks. Rock used the elbow on Dogg, but Gunn pulled the ref out of the ring to stop the count. Finally, Foley came out of the crowd and hit X-Pac and Triple H with a chair, and Rock used the rock bottom on Gunn for the pin. 9 minutes and 16 seconds. Hey, what a finish this is.
They didn't beat me. They beat Billy.
No, you didn't get pinned. How great was this and the pop that Foley gets coming out of the crowd?
Yeah, I mean, look, Mick always got that crowd because Mick was relatable. Mick, you can relate to Mick as a wrestling fan because he doesn't look like The Rock and he doesn't look like Stone Cold, and so you just relate to that guy and his promos, and you know him from his character promos. He's telling you who he is, and you like him, and so super cool to see him get the title or come back and
get the moment.
Who won the title there?
Rock won, but he beat you guys in the 3-way.
That's right.
Title
so
swap for Triple H.
So he didn't get fired. So look, nice setup for the match too, right? Like, they're not feeling any of this, but we knew what was coming. So it's not like you tell a story with, okay, first off, let's get the biggest pop we can get, and then we'll go from there. No, first off, let's get in the match. Let's establish that it's 3-on-1. And what that means is, I do something with him. I tag Billy. Billy does something with him. I tag Kid. Kid does something with him. Now we've established it's 3-on-1. I don't even know if we had to tag. We may have just been beating him up. But that's the execution, the construction of the story, of telling the story through physicality. Is you have to, like we talked about early in a book or a movie, you got to establish the characters. So the crowd was dead for this. But then he comes back literally like 3 minutes later in the same conversation and says, what a pop for this and what a great reaction for this. It's like, they're not supposed to react when you're in the heat. You know what I mean? They'll start clapping, but they're going to be dead for some stuff when you're just ground and pound. You know what I mean? When you're grounding meat, you know?
Well, to me, it's like he says the crowd never took it seriously, but if they popped huge for the comeback, that means at some point they might have thought it was serious.
Look, he goes out of his way, and I'm sorry we turned this into a referendum on Uncle Dave, but him and his reporters, they make it a mission to make it sound negative. And even in their own hypocrisy, we hear it in one sentence, you know what I mean? And I'm guilty of that as well. I'm not saying that I never done that. I'm just saying, like, if you're going to say the crowd was dead during this, don't come back in the next sentence and say, oh my God, they popped huge for this. Like, they just weren't popping right then. Right. They were just watching the wrestling. You know what I mean?
Pop means they had to come from down.
Yes,
so we had to pop to get to
so you have to. Look, why do you people get in a rear chin lock and lay down on the ground? To go nowhere, so the people will go, come on. Hey, come on, Jimmy. Kick his ass. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, everybody starts clapping. And now, we got a big pop for his comeback. Oh, did we, Dave? Is that because we executed it that way? You stinking,
All right.
I'm a better sports entertainer than Dave Meltzer.
Last question before we get to some fan questions.
Okay, let's get to it. My wife
had to be a fun moment. Title goes to Hunter, and you guys have the tag team titles. I mean, got to be a fun moment. You and your boys are on top.
Top of the world. And I was literally riding with no hands. No hands, Ma. But yeah, they turned us heel. They put the titles on us, and they tried to make some baby faces. And that's basically what we've been talking about for an hour, 2 hours now, is a transitional period where they had to turn some guys that were established heel and make some new guys. And that's what we were trying to do. And Dave didn't like any of them, but apparently Matt and Jeff had a good match. So look, I'm happy. I'm happy as pig on Percocet as long as somebody's getting some stars to talk about, you know?
All right, let's get to some fan questions. We love it when you interact with us. Follow us on all the socials at
Please.
You Didn't Know Pod, at Brian R.D. James, at the Casio Kid. Austin tweets us. He says, what was your reaction when Triple H finally won the WWE Championship after everything he went through to make it to the top?
Yeah. Well, look, I think that question is from a personal standpoint, not a professional one. I think what he means is my friend, Paul Levesque, worked hard and did go through a great deal of both personal and professional triumphs and tragedies. But he finally got it, and he was finally the guy, and that's what he wanted. And so for me, as his friend, as his partner, as now his even his employee, couldn't be happier for the guy. The guy deserves the world, and it's his for the taking. So I couldn't be happy.
James Grunberg, Grooney316, tweets us at You Didn't Know Pod. What was Run DMC like? Were they cool to hang with? I play the DX Run DMC song a lot.
Yeah. So, yes, they were cool to meet, but that's about all we got to do with them. We met them. We recorded. We went to the recording studio and met them and stuff. But they were great guys. And they did spend a little bit of time with us that we had fun. Me and Kid were huge fans of theirs. So we had a great time meeting them. We had more fun with probably... not Guns N' Roses, but it might have been who's Vince Neil, the lead singer for?
Motley Crue.
So Motley Crue came on the show, and we performed with them on the show, and we went to their tour bus and was like, all right, who's holding? And like they were all on probation. They couldn't party. And we ended up leaving their tour bus, me and Kid, and going to our rental car, like parked like 6 spots over. And we were like, yeah, I'm not going to hang out with you guys. So I just got a note delivered to me that FYI, there were two 5-star matches in 1999.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to be surprised to hear that both were from All Japan, and nobody remembers who even competed in them. But good on you. Good on you. 99. That's
Sure.
That's where things were popping.
That was where it was. All Japan was popping. 99.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers that.
Yeah. Did I say New Japan or All Japan?
That is All Japan.
I apologize.
You said it right. Yamback Jones
Come on,
hitting us up
Yamback.
on ad-free shows. He's the top
YBJ.
guy over there. He says, "Oh, you didn't know? Was there ever an angle or segment pitch for DX that even you guys thought was too over the top?"
So for me, and it wasn't DX, it was Hunter, but the Katie Vick thing or whatever that was, they did it. They did it, and it was way over the top, and it
Right.
should have never been on the air, but they made it on air. Again, that wasn't so much me, but it was on the same show I was on, and so I was kind of disgusted.
Brad Stanton said, "Did NWO screw up heels? True or false?"
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so because it was before that people liked cool heels. You know what I mean? Like there was heel fans always. Now, if they were some of the first to do the gray hat, the I'm a bad guy, but I'm cool, and so I'm a good guy, but I'm still a bad guy. You know what I mean? They might have been the first to try to pull that off, but I don't think they ruined it for wrestling fans or for heels. I think it's just there are some heels that are cool, and I like them. And I like them because they're cool. You know what I mean? They have to work hard then to make themselves get egg on their face to let the baby face one up them. You know what I mean? So it's... and that may have been problematic too. Like, I don't know how willing they were to get egg on their face.
Right.
Yeah. Because they were top guys, and they thought like that. And I wasn't, and I didn't. And so crack 10 eggs on my face. I don't give a crap. As long as you scramble some of them summer guns for me.
Arrows, hit us up at adfreeshows.com. All personal feelings aside, could China have worked in the group with Stephanie, or was there only room for one alpha female?
Well, look, I think that plays to the personal thing too. If there was nothing personal feelings involved at all, I think there was totally room for that. But I think Steph would have used her as her, I'm the brains and you're the brawn.
Right.
But yeah, I totally think that could have worked. I just think it was beyond that at this point.
Adam Arpin said, "Did any of you try to lobby for Kane to officially join DX for that heel run? Also, how magical of a moment was it to see Kane speak for the first time without the aid of a voice box and his first words be, suck it.
It was actually good, but I really liked him with the voice box. No, I don't. Look, we didn't think about Kane as in that aspect. Like, we were DX and we were the heels, and he was going to be utilized as a big baby face. So I don't think I think we kind of knew, hey, we're moving over to this side of the roster to kind of balance things out. Nobody else is coming and nobody else is moving, and we're just moving here. Now we got guys to work with throughout the year,
Zol Lopez says, "BG, is it true heels have more fun?"
Cool, just like blondes. I wouldn't know about them either. But yeah, it is. Look, it is more fun. The problem is, and it wasn't a problem with DX or the NWO, like you mentioned, is merchandise sales. As a heel, you're not going to sell as much merchandise, and that's just a kind of a running, fact. And so, but with NWO and DX, of course, there was a different factor to it that made people want to buy the merch. But yeah, you know, heels just you get to have fun. You get to go out there and yell at people and be mean and then come back and go, oh my God, that was great. Thanks. You know, and it's fun. It's fun to act. Like if you're a wrestler, I feel like you want to be an actor at some point. You know what I mean? Like at some point you have acting in your mind. And so it's an opportunity to go out there and put on an act and put on a facade and act like somebody I'm not, or act like somebody I am. You know what I mean?
What did you, Zol also wants to know, what did you enjoy most about being a heel? Just that being able to let loose?
No, for me, it was totally bumping and a comeback or feeding a comeback into a finish. Like it's not so much, it's not so much on you as the responsibility to throw that fiery comeback, but as the heel, I got to be as animated and fiery as you do, only getting my butt kicked while I do it. You know what I mean? And so it's a very important part of establishing a big heel babyface comeback is that feed from the heels or the heel. And so that part for me was really challenging and rewarding and fun when you pull it off and you go, my God, that comeback was fire, dog. And you just go like, yes. So yeah, that was fun to me, man.
Bryant Haremza says, you guys were always the cool group. How hard was it to be heels at this point and try to not be cool heels? Or were you just, like we've mentioned, you were just going out and doing your thing?
Yeah, I was doing my thing. But the truth of it was, like, look, I just took away things where, okay, I'm not doing my thing. I'm not going to do my entrance. You know what I mean? I would give them little things I'd come out there and go, you know what? I ain't doing that crap for you. And I'd throw the thing away. You know what I mean? And it would be like, oh, you son of, and so immediately I have to do little things early on to let you know I'm not being cheered by you tonight.
Not the same guy.
And if you're cheering me, you're wasting your energy. So, you know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, screw you then, dude. You know what I mean? Immediately. And so already we're getting there. And so it's you just have to change little nuances. And it's very easy because the mob is influenced easily.
And last question, Rick Smith says, 2 questions.
Oh, tricky Ricky Smith.
In your wildest dreams, did you ever think your ass would be in a bear trap for our entertainment?
Not in a million years, but I loved it. And I loved the story that I tell because of it. Part 2 was?
Also, he said, what was the thought behind Tory being a member of DX? Not too many people remember her in it, but what's your thoughts of being her involved in DX?
So I'm going to be honest with you. I thought having an attractive woman was a good look for the package. So for sure. But apparently Dave Meltzer disagrees with me. Still canceled, by the way, Dave. But so I think that was the original. I wasn't in the booking meeting when she got added or subtracted, but I think it was a good look to have Kid with a girl on his shoulder or whatever, and us, and you know what I mean? Like it was a good visual for the package. And she could work. Like she was a good worker. And so if we ran into people with female co-parts, you know what I mean, counterparts, we got our answer. And so I think that was kind of the reason. I didn't really ever get to know her really well. I joked around a lot with her, but I never really got to know the woman. And I regret that now. You know what I mean? Not getting to know her better as a person.
Well, I think this was a good episode, man. We went a little bit long. I appreciate everybody for hanging in with us, but
yes, thank you
we had to
very
get
much.
this in, and I thought we told the story, and we hit what we needed to hit there.
Yeah, and look, I kind of want to say something too. Like I have opinions. Surprise, surprise.
Well, that's why we're doing a podcast.
You tune in to the podcast and you hear some opinions. Some you're going to agree with, and some you're not. And if you want to respond on social media and tell me how stupid I am, that's cool. But it's just my opinion. Like I like, I like Nikes. You like Reebok. Like it's not a big deal. And so let's all love wrestling together. And I don't know, but for me in America right now, we could use a lot more come together right now than we could separating over my opinion of someone's wrestling abilities. So, I look, tune in because you love wrestling. And if you hate me because I disagree with you, that's fine, hate me. But let's have fun and just talk wrestling, man, and have a good time on here.
All right, couple things before we get out of here. Don't forget, you can find us at adfreeshows.com. That's where you can get this early and ad-free at adfreeshows.com.
But you want to get it
shows.com.
early. How many podcasts are available for that one price?
Oh, incredible. I don't, too many to count.
I think there's 11 or 12.
At least,
And adding as we go. 15. 15 I see now.
Plus bonus shows.
I'm told from the truck 15. And then he says, I think. So, yeah, I thought it was 11. So I'm hearing from the truck. 15 podcasts. And what is it, $9.99, $10.99?
Yeah, you can get in for as low as $9 a month.
Yeah.
How about that?
It's incredible. And you get podcasts from Kevin Nash, from Jeff Jarrett, from Eric Bischoff, from Bruce Prichard, from Jim Ross, from who are they bringing in now? I just heard they were bringing
They got Angle, Nash, like you mentioned. They got a lot more coming in.
Yeah, just so many guys from this era. And what I think is interesting, Casio, is that you get to hear my opinion on this era. And then you can tune in to one of those guys and hear their opinion, because I'm sure they've covered Montreal Screwjob. I'm sure they've covered, so you can listen to it and kind of hear everybody's opinion and then draw your own. You know what I mean? That's the beauty of it to me.
Plus,
anyway, I'm sorry. Continue to shill.
Anytime you're shilling, adfreeshows.com is a good thing. And plus, as you watch this in December, get ready, because in December and January, as we go into the next year, we are starting to add live podcast watching where you could possibly watch us do a "Oh, you didn't know" live as it happens.
You will be bored, and you will laugh a lot. You might not learn one thing, except for how could I laugh for an hour straight.
That's it. Next week, coming up, by the way, coming out of the Survivor Series, SmackDown has Clash of the Champions in December. Big Show. AJ Styles defends his WWE title in a rematch with Jinder Mahal. The Riot Squad debuts. Charlotte defends the SmackDown's Women's Championship against Natalya.
Yeah.
Baron Corbin, my man, defends the U.S. title against Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler in a three-way. The Usos, they turned out to be pretty good. They defend the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. The New Day and Rusev and Aiden English. Randy Orton chooses Shinsuke Nakamura to team up against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And if Zayn and Owens lose, they must leave SmackDown.
Oh,
spoiler alert.
Spoiler
we'll see what happens. Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan will be the special guest referees. Plus, Mojo and Zack Ryder split up. So, a lot to talk about next week. This
was my show. I was the lead writer of this show. So
Can't wait to hear.
I'll have some insight.
All the good stuff going on behind the scenes for this one. Before we get out of here, like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star rating on all the platforms. Watch us on Twitter. We appreciate it. Turn on your notifications there at youtube.com/DOGG. Like and subscribe there. And comment. Look, if you didn't like something we said, let us know. Don't be an A about it, but let us know. You can disagree with us.
It's my opinion.
It's opinions.
You're allowed to yours, I guess. I shouldn't be trying to squelch your feedback.
Follow us on Twitter at Brian R.D. James is the man over there. I'm at the Casio Kid, and of course the show handle at You Didn't Know Pod. Dog, pleasure to hook up with you, my man.
This was the War and Peace episode right here.
We got heated.
246 right now.
Yeah.
I in my mind, I fought Dave Meltzer like 3 times.
In my mind, I kind of want to stick around for 14 minutes and do our first 3-hour podcast. Let's talk about cranberry sauce.
I tapped out in all 3 fight scenarios with Dave.
But you did poop in his pants.
Yes, he walked away with my. Never mind.
I like to think they were on too, where you just pulled the back of them out.
He was wearing them,
dumped, and then closed it back and let him walk off.
It's called an upper decker.
And he's in his Taekwondo gi or whatever he wears.
He's in his gi.
And his schmedium muscle
he's in his
shirt.
gi right now with his white tighty whities on with a gi on. With a big tiger on the back of it.
And just tons of stars to hand out to everybody.
He's just got a bag of stars. Like he's Rip Torn. What was that guy's name? Rip Torn, I think is his name. Rip Torn.
Rip Torn was great.
Do you know who I'm talking about?
Rip Torn, I do. The
guy who threw confetti everywhere and went, oh, Philip, like that. That's how Uncle Dave is right now. Rip Taylor.
Yeah. Rip Torn was I was about to say he's the different actor. I don't remember him throwing stars out.
Rip Taylor.
Yeah.
Different guy.
By the way, Meltzer's got so many stars left over because he gave you none in the 90s or the 2000s. So he's still got all the ones he should have gave you.
Yeah, there's a couple of Japanese wrestlers that got those stars. You know what they're
like a constellation of having so many stars.
Some of them just over there looking like the Milky Way. I can't get a daggum light turned on. They got a little dipper over there for Omega. Good
we can't even add up your quarter stars to get some stuff. Dog, thank you, man. Fun show.
You.
Appreciate everybody for consuming it.
I'm sorry I get so into it and so passionate about it sometimes.
That's why we love it.
It is funny and laughable, and so I appreciate you guys laughing with me.
And if they didn't like this and they didn't laugh with us at all in 2 hours and 49 minutes, what you got 2 words for them?
Suck it.
It's that time of year, boys and girls. Can you believe it? I know I can't. I know what you're thinking. This is going to be expensive. How am I going to pay for all this? Have you seen the economy lately? Can we put Christmas on pause? You can't. It's going to be here sooner rather than you think. And I'm here to help at SaveWithConrad.com. How's this for starters? No house payments for 2 months. You don't have to make a payment in December. You're done until January. And come January, you're going to have a happier new year. Because it'll be with no credit card debt. It'll be with lower monthly payments. We can knock out your car payment. We can get rid of your second mortgage. We can pay off all your credit cards. We can get you the cash you need to turn your house into your dream home and do it with no money out of pocket. Don't get stressed out about the holidays. Just go to SaveWithConrad.com right now. You don't need perfect credit. You don't need money out of your pocket. It just takes a few minutes to get started. NMLS number 65084, equal housing lender. Serious business. Get a lower monthly payment. Make this the best Christmas ever. Skip your next 2 house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.